hello, dear listeners. Thank you so much for joining in to the previous episodes of In Conversation with. As you know, this podcast has been running for nearly 8 years. We have been trying to get people who have been part of tech industry and have helped grow the ecosystem by being a pioneer or having faced some insurmountable challenges. They have been the change maker. I'm not trying to put large words here, but in humble words, they have seen the tough world and they have figured out some simple ways of solving big problems. While what's here for you to listen, your love and affection and your repeat views and the data that flows to me shows that what you appreciate more is the simplicity as well as the complexity of problem and what areas the problem have not been solved. So we are not trying to give you a one pill to solve a problem or some magic stuff. We're just showing that the life can be tough, the journey is challenging, but if you keep on there, you will make some success or the others. You have seen all the podcasts or heard all the podcasts before, and you know the profile of all the listeners as well as guests coming in. Today's podcast is no different. It's the same. We have another change maker in India. I know him for a very long time. I've been pinging him on WhatsApp and others that hey, spare some time, and but he is a hands-on guy, so he stays really busy and is in a very happening industry, doing a lot of stuff, trying to run a business and grow it, make it profitable, uh, support the entire clients and the demands in India. It could be a big challenge. And as the podcast starts, you will know that this is the peak season for when that person is in the most demand. So it kind of makes me feel a bit humble and honored that at the peak season, someone has made his precious minutes available from his busy life to come and speak to us. I'm really thankful. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce the guests. I'll not keep the suspense on and on and on. So, as you know, there's an area of reality and then there's an area beyond reality. So a lot of people, when we think about beyond reality, we think of Oculus Rift or the people who wearing this and looking here and there and all Sony PSVR and playing here and all the things. We also know of a very large social media company that renamed itself and put a very big gamble that there is a world beyond what we see as reality. And Indian Upanishads and Vedas have always talked about Maya and another realm, another world, and so many things that does happen. And this entire world is a creation of someone's dream. Everything is virtual. It's not real. It's figment of imagination. What if someone who is actually trying to capture some of those imaginations and trying to help us create an alternate world and try to escape into those nice worlds or even a bit of scary parts of those worlds? That person today is Abhilash Balan. He is the founder of LifeVR. He is a change maker. He is on a mission to create a VR ecosystem that connects bare mortals, the people like us, to a real life VR content. He has been a pioneer in capturing events, just like regular events like marriages, business events that we have in virtual reality technology. Why is it important? I remember listening to an episode of Apple and Kodak. They talked about what does the camera of an iPhone do, or what did Kodak do. Kodak didn't take a picture. Kodak stopped time. So if this time is a newborn, you know, you're in a maternity home and your better half has just we have just became three from two. That's a moment, it's a very emotional moment. We want to capture it. We want to preserve it so that we can look at that moment 20 years down the line and that moment is captured somewhere there. It doesn't flow away. Time is a fluid. It flows. So a camera captures and pauses a moment. This gentleman is also capturing and pausing something so that we can have the same view in an augmented world. The same marriage videos, those tacky marriage videos where you see that someone is saying that food is not good, or someone is trying to look at what the gifts are there, and we have all those marriage videos coming in there, and you always sit. Remember the old days of VHS sets when you sit and look at those marriage videos, and the entire family sits together. That itself is a Suraj Badiyatya movie for us. That hey, we are watching marriage video of this auntie or this uncle. The entire kids are sitting. Okay, so this is coming. That gentleman, that is that uncle. That madam, that is that. He's come from that village. So when the family sits and watches that 2 hour long video, the older days, not 20, 30 years ago, that used to be not capturing or recording a video. That's capturing the moments that are precious to us. So let's see. We have seen world change from cassettes to DVRs to CDs to DVDs to pen drives to cloud nowadays. And everything, we don't have anything. Everything is still cloud. So without further ado, let me bring in Mr. Abhilash Balan. I've given a longish, a bit of kind of emotional, a bit less tech and more human kind of introduction. So let's understand from him what his view of VR is, or just what is his definition of reality is, and then what is virtual reality. But before that, please introduce. We'll request him to introduce himself and LifeVR, the name of the company that he founded, and a little bit of journey of that company. Abhilash, over to you.
Uh, Hi, Neville. Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you for having your show.
Yeah.
So to start, how we started life here. I had I did bachelor's in motion capture and animation. So that is where I was very passionate about how movies, like especially the movie Avatar, the technology behind it, how they did it. So that is why, which took me in the direction of learning what motion capture things like that. And at that time, virtual reality, like I never knew virtual reality, and I'm sure
This
many
was
people.
what time? Which year?
I think this was around 2008 or
Okay.
2009. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that time, virtual reality was never heard anywhere. Like I think even mock-ups or nothing. Like I never ever heard about this term virtual reality. So
Mhm.
when we were doing our motion capture things, that is when I saw one of the first virtual reality concept models that our university had.
This was
So
which university?
this was Deakin University. It was in Melbourne. Yeah. So it was like, so motion capture, you're aware, right? You have this markers on your body and you walk around, you capture the motion. So a lot of actors was finding it difficult because they're not able to understand the environment they're performing on. So because of that, they are not able to, give the optimal performance that they're supposed to do for that scene. So
Sure.
if you see, there will be mock monitors, things like that. So later on, they were having this concept where you are able to visualize which environment you're gonna be.
Yeah.
So it is creating that niche for the actors, so they know exactly what to perform in that part. So that is see the model I experienced was like very nauseate creating experience. You wear the VR headset, you are in an environment, the latency was very bad. You just turn your head, it will take at least a second for the image to come, but still it was a very surreal experience. No matter what, it is going to mess you up with your nausea, motion sickness, whatever it is. Still everyone want to experience it because it's like something you never felt before. Like how nowadays, we feel fatigue with screen, right? Because everywhere we see screen.
Yeah.
That time, like say right now, if you're having some sort of a experience which give you some sort of a dopamine hit that the normal screens are not giving, VR was that sort of an experience at that time.
Ah.
So that is when I was like, okay, I was very keen on this, and that time it was not even handy. It was like a biker's helmet. Imagine like a six biker's helmet stuck together. That is how they had to create a VR headset, and there's wires running all around to connect to a powerful computers. But somewhere I knew this could like really impact the way we live, and that is where the curiosity of virtual reality started. Then every opportunity I get, I used to talk to people about it. I think even in our university it's well, a lot of people were curious about VR, and there were a lot of conversations. There was conversation happening like even beyond, even though motion capture was happening at that time. I think right that time they were doing Hobbit in motion capture.
Yeah.
Even even virtual, the concept of virtual reality kind of surpassed that excitement. So people were like more and more interested in talking about what VR is all about.
Yeah.
Then we started, experimenting so many things, but it never really took off. But I think then, like there was like a plateau stage, like where nothing much was happening in virtual reality. I think the really groundbreaking thing in VR we saw is when Google introduced Google Cardboard.
Google Cardboard. Yeah.
Google Cardboard, yeah. I think that kind of was a like a I think the base of what virtual reality and its accessibility for like the common day users. I
When was
think that
this?
I believe it is around 2010 or 2011.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that time it was easy. Like Google made it patent free. So you can pretty much download a stencil online,
Hmm.
print it on a paper, cut it up, stick a cardboard, you fold it up. Then you are able to just install application, put your phone inside, and watch. So it's that sort of a thing started coming up. I think then we were like very very curious. Okay,
Yeah.
this is really big now. If you are
But
able
but
to,
by that time, were the cameras available? VR cameras, Instax
uh,
cameras, and
okay, so from what I remember, one of the first camera in virtual reality, what we used is a camera called Samsung Gear 360.
yeah, I remember that
It's
camera.
a white round one. It's a small camera. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they didn't even like I think Samsung only released two versions of it, 360 and the Gen 2. That's it. Then they stopped it completely. Like um like I wouldn't call it a failure. It was a very good attempt.
Huh.
And see that time that camera could record in 4K, which was a very big thing.
Yeah.
Because a normal if you see normal phone itself couldn't record a 4K right
No.
that time.
No.
So that was a very big thing. And but for VR, 4K is still not enough.
Yeah.
But it was a very good starting point.
Yeah.
Um, so if you see that time, the virtual reality contents which was available online, which was predominantly most of it was shot on these cameras.
Huh.
So these cameras are still like 4K, right? Like when you watch in VR, it is pretty much equivalent to 360p or something. Because
Google 360. Yeah, 360p. Okay, understood.
yeah, so because like think about it, in a normal equilateral, it is 4K, but when you spread it across,
Yeah.
then it is kind of like
Tell us a
over.
bit of math behind it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is oversaturated. Like what to say, like the pixel density comes very very small.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that itself, it wasn't a pleasant experience, but it still was fancy enough to attract anyone. Like that
Mm-hmm.
first time experience
What is the
of
good pixel density?
for a VR. Like
Yeah.
see, right now we are used to say, for example, around I believe 441 or something like that, right? For
And
when you watch it,
what is the unit of measurement?
pixel per inch,
PPI. Okay.
441 ppi. Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah. So when you watch it on your phone, I think if you in the beginning, probably imagine the first smartphone you used. When you look
Okay.
at your phone, you will be able to see a pixel, but that never disturbed you because it was a new experience.
Yeah.
But as time goes by, we get used to like a higher standard of experience. Now if you see a pixel on your phone, you feel like, this phone is not good. So that is also evolution. Same, like TV, you go up close, you can see the pixel, but when you're sitting on your couch and watching it, you will not see the pixels, and it is a fine experience. VR, the challenge is it is right up close to your eye.
Yeah.
Until unless you have a very very intricate pixel density, it is very like pretty much every experience you can see the pixel.
It is like keeping an iPhone right here.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
you will naturally see the pixels. So they have to make it even more smaller. Again, it is like technologically, it is very, very complicated to do something like that. If you pack more pixels in per inch, then you need more computing power to cater to that. So these are the challenges right
Tell us
now.
about those 6 computers. They used to go around with wires. Do you have any pictures of those days? We'll have to put it up
Um,
along with the show notes. That will be very
I
funny to watch, actually, to be honest.
I
Huh?
think I might, but I have no idea where those are. Like probably I'll have to
So, what
check.
computers were? Were they like Dell Alienware's laptops or like actual
Um,
PC computers?
I believe that at that time it was like there was a Hackintosh.
Ah,
It was that time it was like Hackintosh system. Then there was a couple of PCs. It is like built from scratch. It was
oh,
very difficult to buy a powerful PC straight out of the market. We have to
oh,
buy different parts and assemble it.
Oh,
So it was again in our university, right? So university used to take care of all those things. Yeah.
so
And
this
there
was
was
like a Deakin University media lab.
media lab. That's right. Yeah.
Ah.
Hmm. And Deakin was very good in this sort of tech stuff, especially for movie related things. I think Deakin was the only university at that time which offered motion capture course.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Any memories of any class projects or any fantastic discoveries that you made as a student that really caught your attention, that
See,
really surprised you?
we didn't do anything related to VR, but we did so many motion capture related stuff.
Okay, for
So
example.
yeah, for example, it was like we had to create a we had to collaborate it with the performance art students, like people are learning to be an actor, things like that. So they will have a lot of so it's like we use their talent as an actor, and we use our capability as a technology people, then bring these together.
Hmm.
So it is like an assignment for the performance students as well as an assignment for us. So we collaborate with various departments inside the university. That is usually our final assignments used to be. For sound, we will have majors from sound, acting, motion cap, animation, things like that. See, we all students collaborate together to create something like that. So that was a very pleasant experience. I think very, very memorable experience what we had. Then I
Hmm.
think when we see the final end product, it was, and they played for the entire university. They'll be having
Wow.
some, yeah. So that was and entire team will get appreciated. So it was like a proud moment that time. Like,
Yeah.
now when you look at it, it look amateurish, but that time when we
Yeah.
achieved it, it was a very wonderful feeling because we never thought we can pull off like a full-fledged production, right? We have to like the acting has to be done right, then the motion capture has to capture it properly, a sound designer has to sound for it. So it is like a what to say, like a trial version of how the real world is gonna be.
Yeah. So it kind of gave the directorial skills to the folks like you, because once you have to keep everyone together, from
Yeah,
people, actors, or
yeah,
ballerinas, or dancers, or performers,
yeah,
music, everything, and as well
yeah,
as then ensure everything comes together,
yeah.
and
I
then
think that marrying everything together and creating a final product, I think that really gives you like a hands-on experience of how the future world is gonna be. Yeah.
yeah,
I think in a way, more than tech, everything, the most difficult thing is controlling or managing the manpower.
yeah.
Bringing everyone on the same page. I think that is when you appreciate HR a lot.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
because at least when for actual movies are shot, I guess here near in Goregaon and Mumbai, at least they
Yeah.
can see there's someone behind the monitor who can see what the actor and actress have done.
Yeah.
Here, because the moment has passed and everyone has put in their efforts, and if
Mm-hmm.
thing is not captured, and if it's like a marriage a thing, you
Yeah.
can't do it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
then your neck is on the line.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we'll come to we will do a time jump of
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan later, but we will go back to timeline of 2011. I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's where you gave us a very good example of adoption coming in from the buyer side as well by having
Mm-hmm.
affordable Google Card box. It's a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a Pokemon Go movement.
Mm-hmm.
When I remember, I was in a conference of Google and as a part of IBM Google collaboration, and again, the views and opinions are mine, not of any organizations I've been part of. But
Mm-hmm.
in that event, Google had plotted a chart, and they had plotted like a line chart which grew like this, a parabola, and they had put like three drop downs, and they had asked us that guess what is that first line says. They said that the first capacity is what I guess the company, the game, I think Niantic made Pokemon. Who made Pokemon? Forgetting Pokemon is made by. Come on. Pokemon made by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo makes Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So they had reserved, I think, some capacity.
Okay.
What did Niantic do? Yeah, it was Niantic. So I'm not wrong. Thanks, memory is still there. Niantic had launched with the Nintendo Pokemon, so they
Okay.
had reserved this much of cloud capacity for like couple of weeks. They launched
Okay.
on Friday and something. That there's some
Okay.
random game on phone who will go looking for Pokemons and stuff.
Yeah.
The concept was pretty new.
Yeah.
So they hit that capacity of couple of weeks in say 2 minutes or 3 minutes after launch or 4 minutes after
Mm-hmm.
launch,
Mm-hmm.
and then the capacity of 1 year in a day, and the
Mm-hmm.
capacity of 10 years in 3 days. So that
Okay.
was Google trying to show their cloud scalability and those, but that was their intention. But the
Okay.
point was that the adoption can skyrocket.
Uh-huh.
At that part of Google where they talked about say 3 years or 10 years cloud capacity getting used by 3 weeks of cloud
Yep.
is when they were trying to show the scalability of cloud. But
Yep.
that was the Google cardboard movement for
Yeah.
Pokemon because the
Yeah.
adoption was so high
Yeah.
and it was a new novel technology. Everyone was running for Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's something that you cannot see, but you put on the phone, you'll see.
Exactly. Yeah.
Apple has been breaking their head trying to say, hey, use this ruler, put the camera, put a tap on screen, a dot will come, put another camera, tap, put another dot will come. Then you can see it in the air. I
Yeah.
can promise you, I don't have data. I
Yeah.
can promise you 99% of the people don't know how to use the ruler app on their iPhone.
Yeah.
And they show in a video that a carpenter can use it, a plumber can use it, and they can do he and she and others. And IKEA is putting on all this again. My personal opinion, not in capacity, not trying to throw a shade on those legendary giant organizations.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sponsor me, more than happy to sponsor me. But the point is, the challenge that they have mentioned in their annual reports and their news releases is
Yeah.
that they've been trying to put like a nice sofa,
Yeah.
and they'll say, take a picture of your room. I will put a sofa. But adoption doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
for you, as you're mentioning, if you go back a bit to 2011, is when you told there was a one full gentle nudge coming from people, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a gentle push or a gentle support coming from Samsung, who just
Mm-hmm.
gave you something to make. A
Mm-hmm.
creator is something doing, consumer is doing something. So now
Mm-hmm.
there's a creator and consumer. Now there has to be media. But remember
Mm-hmm.
that 2011 was still when internet was not that fast, or the world was not that fast paced still,
Yeah.
and India anyway was
Yeah.
still coming up till 2G, 3G looking as 2G. I
Yeah.
still remember when 4G came in India, the 2G of South Korea was faster than the 4G of India. I came to Singapore and my 3G phone was running at such speed that my home broadband didn't run. And I was just taking screenshots of my friends were saying, hey, take picture of that Merlion. I said, no, I'll take screenshot of my speed that this is what my phone is running. YouTube. Anyway, so tell us about, let's go
Yeah.
back to 2011. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the ecosystem. So
Mm-hmm.
how does now there's Google Cardboard. How does VR actually function? Is there a lot of latency or download or speed requirement? Can you cache it? What was the world like in 2011?
I'm not sure. It's a 2011, but somewhere around
Yeah,
that same
around those time,
yeah,
those days.
those days. So, see, initially the VR cardboard thing, which came out when Google opened the patent, like getting
Do you
everyone
know
to.
why Google had this VR cardboard thing?
I believe it was one of their employee from France. I believe they are the one. He created it. I think it was the time when they were doing the Google glasses as well. So he took this concept and he's like, it is the cheapest way to create a VR headset. He went to the management, I think then CEO or someone. They were like, very interesting novel concept. Let's give it to the people. Like, they opened the patent because anyway, like, it is a chicken and egg story, right? Until unless you have users for VR, the ecosystem also will not bring.
Yeah,
Like, how will you create applications on it if you don't have
yeah,
like a wider user base?
yeah,
And this is like the best way for them to do it.
yeah.
So they
So,
opened it
dear
up.
listeners, I'm just
Yeah.
sorry if I'm interrupting. Dear listeners, those who are watching, those who are listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, you may want to click on the YouTube link just to see the visual aid portions that we might be showing during the podcast. So,
Mhm.
at present, I'm sharing a picture of a YouTube of a Wikipedia page where the French Google engineers that Abhilash is correctly mentioning. They are David Cause and Damien Henry. They are Google engineers at Google Culture Institute in Paris. This was same around 2014 around Google I/O when this cardboard was launched. It's pretty simple, very intuitive, and kind of it kicked off consumer grade. Can you say it's the beginner of the consumer grade VR? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can believe they shipped almost 15 million units. That's a big number.
Yeah. Yeah, and the website is still archived at Wayback Machine, and
Yeah.
a release was then.
March 2017, I think they shipped over 160 million cardboard enabled downloads are made. Wow.
Yeah. Then Daydream happened, and then they get, as you mentioned correctly, the open source, the SDK, and Daydream 2016, 2019, the SDK was open sourced. In 21, they post COVID, I guess they stopped selling viewers,
Mm-hmm.
and then but it's at the very fundamental, it's very simple, intuitive way of looking at
Yeah.
stuff. Because why I'm saying this is that sometime we'll keep it a bit conversational, so we'll talk a bit about the
Yeah.
nerdy image of Google Glass and why Google Glass failed from the perception view as well.
Yeah.
If I look at you, it's like Superman who can see through people. So
Yeah.
people kind of had hesitation. That's one of Google Glass. So I'll put it in the message that I'm sending to Abhilash so that we don't forget Google Glass and nerdy image will come up sometime in. The second reason I'm saying this is because on the screen we see something which is made with very cheap, so very inexpensive way of stuff.
Yeah.
And then because I'm going to ask Abhilash a $3,500 question as well, I
Mm-hmm.
guess he would know what that $3,500 question is, because some company
Yeah.
which kind of resembles a fruit has put in some very strong sensors and cameras and stuff, and is
Mm-hmm.
trying to do something. So the world has come all the way wrong,
Yeah.
all the way round, not
Yeah.
all the way round. So
Mm-hmm.
some so why I'm saying this, all these podcasts, these are more conversational. There are a lot of founders coming in, they've seen the world in different ways. So one startups or one large giant takes a baby
Mm-hmm.
step, says, hey,
Yeah.
take this paper, do something.
Yeah.
Another company has another way of looking at things. They started $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing, we're not taking a value judgment at it, hey, this is right, this is wrong. We're
Mm-hmm.
just two tech into one tech enthusiast, one founder. We're just trying to look at the world at our
Mm-hmm.
own perspective. We're just trying to figure stuff out,
Yeah.
non-opinionated, with no wrong intentions. So I'm mentioning that in the chat as well, because I'll
Yeah.
stop presenting right now. And
Yeah.
then we'll go back to Abhilash mentioning the open sourcing of the component of 2012 and 13, and the French
Yeah.
engineers who started Cool Cardbox. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
talking a bit about how the adoption and how the tech behind it and the latency and those parts. How did that? How were those days? Yeah, sorry.
So those days, the latency was a major issue because the mobiles phone we were using at that time it didn't have a very sophisticated processor. I
Yeah.
think most of the mobile phone didn't even have a dedicated GPU.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it was all integrated graphics unit, things like that. So the processing itself was very much complicated. And say for example, for VR, 4K itself is not enough. But none of the phone were able to support a 4K.
Yeah.
And if you shoot in 4K, the phone used to have a maximum out of high def. And imagine when high def globe 360 content you watch, it scales down to like a very, very low quality. And when you watch in the VR headset, it is buggy, as in the cardboard, it is buggy, latency issue, not crisp image. It's a combination of all those things. That time, the pixel density of the phone, I believe it was around 150 or less than 100. I believe there are phones around 79 pps also. And glasses, Google, the lenses we use, it again magnifies things.
Ah.
The moment it magnifies, it's even showing more pixel. Like you can see big chunk of bulk pixel sitting everywhere. So it was not a comfortable experience. And that is another reason, that it's my personal opinion again. That is why Google also couldn't carry forward that thing. Google later on, the Google Cardboard evolution, they started something called Daydream.
Yeah.
They had like a full cushion VR headset with a remote control. Same, you put your phone inside, you can have a hands-free experience, things like that. Even that didn't take off. Like I remember, Daydream was there when we were running the company, so we were very excited. Okay, good. At least one big person is looking into VR now.
By this
Every
time, you were in Melbourne or you were back in India?
I was back in India.
Okay.
I think around 2015 we started the company. When we started the company, I think we didn't register the company as such, but we were exploring the space.
Yeah.
So that time only Google Cardboard was available.
Hmm.
So our first few clients, We delivered the content in a Google Cardboard. And see, again, like only tech enthusiasts used to take, because they need to know how to assemble the headset. They need to know how to load a VR content on their phone, put it inside, strap it right, then hold it and watch.
Oh, wow.
The field of vision is also low. So right now, if you wear a Quest 3, things like that, you will have some sort of peripheral vision. So you will
Yeah,
feel some sort of immersion in the environment. But back in the days when you have Google Cardboard, the field of view is also less.
yeah,
You will have to move your head left, right, hardcore just to see certain things.
yeah.
But again,
It's a
tech
bit like
versus
having a better. It's like having a power steering versus a normal
absolutely,
steering. You have to do a
yeah,
lot of wrangling to turn the car around.
yeah,
Power
yeah,
steering, little bit the car turns around.
exactly, yeah. And that time, that's what only enthusiasts like complete. I want something new. When people specifically ask for it, only those people used to take.
Ah,
That is when we saw Google coming with Daydream version 1 and all. We were excited. We thought, okay, now the ecosystem gonna
mm,
go in full flow. Like Google will heavily invest. They will keep coming with different versions of headset. But unfortunately, I think again after Google Daydream version 2, they kind of scrapped that again, because that again didn't pick up the way they expected. And what I feel again is the usability. At the end of the day, if you want mass adoption, it has to be ease of access. It should be as simple as turning a TV on. Like, you press one red button, it turns on, then I'm able to navigate up or down to this favorite channel I can watch. I feel that is the only way mass adoption can happen. Because if you see techies, number of techies in the world, it will be less than a percent, I believe. So not everyone is tech averse. It has to be simple. If you make it very complicated, it is very difficult for people to use. Not
yeah,
just that, then again, the ecosystem also didn't grow along with it, because there was no good hardware. Why would you develop an application for VR if there is no large enough user base, no repetitive clients? No one has said how you take your phone and watch entertainment or communication, text, everything on a daily basis.
yeah,
VR wasn't able to do that. So kind of it again dropped down. So I think Daydream also kind of they stopped. I think then it was the rise of Oculus. Oculus had a better thing. Oculus SDK 1, 2 I worked with,
What's
but
the difference in the tech? Is it like just like people say Tesla doesn't have lidar, Mercedes uses lidar, Tesla uses optical cameras to create depth in the pictures. What's the
yeah,
difference between? Is there a difference between tech stack of Oculus versus Daydream versus something? Can you talk a bit about the evolution of a tech stack as well? So how does the technology work?
so absolutely. So Oculus had a completely different approach. They didn't want you to put a phone inside, because every phone the display is kind of different. So the user experience is going to be widely varied. So if you, for example, if you have a power saving mode on your phone, then your phone will limit a lot of pixels,
Yeah,
latency issue, everything will come. So Oculus goal was to create a completely integrated standalone unit. Like the headset will come with the display, headset will come with the glasses on its own, the lenses. So not much calibration is needed compared to Google Cardboard. So Google Cardboard, for example, if you have a bigger phone and a bigger display, then uh, the lenses will not fit properly. So
yeah,
what you have to do, you will have to scan on a QR code. Then, according to your phone's screen, they will reduce the image size so
yeah,
that it fits it than the lenses. And see, this is complication. Not many people will understand or know what to do about in these situations. So that is something which Oculus solved, because it is a standalone. It is as
yeah,
simple as taking it on and plugging it into a computer. The
yeah.
only problem was that time it was a tethered experience. So you
Okay.
need a computer to power an Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a standalone device.
Oh, so it's wired to a device. It's not.
Yeah, it is wired for that. Even though it packs all the tech, like, but it needs a computer to run.
Hmm.
Application have to run on a computer, because it didn't have high processing in the headset.
Oh,
And that too, it was all developer kit, that like one or two which they released. So not for consumer again. I think consumer version came only in 2017, I believe. Oculus Rift consumer version. Till then, it was developer kit only for developers. They were
okay.
creating applications for it. Then Oculus properly launched Oculus Studio Store. Then the consumer version come.
So
Uh,
how did Oculus focus their efforts towards monetization? Did they raise a lot of capital? How did they get the proof of concept, proof of value? Did they focus towards consumer side or industry side or enterprise side? And then why did people believe in Oculus? Was the market very competitive? How was Oculus able to come if Google was already there? What did Oculus do apart from tech better than Google?
Oculus had developed a hardware. Google never focused on developing an hardware of VR.
Acha.
That is the main thing. So Oculus
Hmm.
kind of believed in that concept completely. They went full fledged in developing a VR headset. In fact, that is one of the main reason, right? Meta purchased Oculus. They completely bought
Hmm.
it. Oculus had a sophisticated tech. The approach they took in the lens, having a larger field of view, things like that, that actually made this VR boom start.
So why were Oculus able to make good hardware when the
Hmm.
giants of camera like Sony were already there? Sony, Canon, they're like the giants of camera technology. Why didn't Canon do something that why didn't a department of Canon come to their head and say, hey, we should do something in VR? Why were they, I'll not use the word complacent, but was VR a breakthrough technology that nobody saw coming? Or it's still an experimental technology that nobody wants? Because there are giants in the field.
Yeah,
You're getting what I'm saying, right? There
yeah,
are people who are much doing this for hundreds of years.
yeah,
So why Oculus became so successful, so big, got sold for billions and billions of dollars?
yeah.
What happened?
So, like how you say, like say the camera again is a different department, right? It is to capture something. Probably like all the giant camera manufacturers working on a 360-degree camera. Could be Canon is already announced a VR camera. Many companies like Sony is working on a VR camera. I think Sony has partnered with many people to create VR cameras also. But Oculus, what they did was making a VR headset similar to a mobile concept.
Hmm.
See, when Google released the cardboard headset, also everyone was focused was on a mobile phone. That was the new hot thing. It was
Hmm.
the market which mobile phone had, and they realized next 5 to 10 years that is going to be the biggest race.
Hmm.
They will be able to sell billions and billions of more smartphones,
Hmm.
and the ecosystem was also completely flourished. Like
Hmm.
if you see when smartphones came first year or something, they had like thousands application. I think from second year onwards, it was an exponential jump. Millions, 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 billions of applications are there. So everyone knew. So that is why if you see Google was actively into buying Motorola, and so that was a completely different era. And smartphone was the
So
new.
everyone wanted to piggyback on smartphones, but Oculus went the other way. They said we will make another hardware
We
because
will
we
make
believe that a
another
good
hype.
experience is hardware dependent.
Absolutely. Not just hardware dependent. Like they realized this is something what VR has been missing.
Ah.
That is what, see, and that time itself, Google had Google Glasses. They were focusing more on augmentation,
Hmm.
where you are able to see the real world as well as there is a projection display,
Yeah, you're
rather
putting a
than a
layer on
complete
top of it.
VR. Rather than a complete VR. And plus, I believe Google was in touch with a company called Magic Leap at that time.
Yeah.
So Magic Leap uh, is one of the most funded company in the world. I think they have raised close to $1 billion in capital.
Wow,
And Google CEO kind of sits on their board as well as Alibaba CEO sits on their board.
man.
Yeah. But again, that was also it was like a glass, like a wearable glass, and AR on a push of button, it can become VR as well.
Ah.
You would have seen this commercial of Magic Leap which went viral, where there is a I think people will be sitting, like students will be sitting around a basketball court, indoor
Uh-huh.
basketball court, and all of a sudden a whale will jump in the middle. A blue whale will jump in the middle, and water will splash to the. It is
Oh.
a like so it there was a lot of buzz
I'll definitely
around it.
watch it. I'll definitely link it. To be honest, what keywords will get that search up?
I think Magic Leap advert should do.
Advert of basketball,
Magic Leap.
Magic Leap, Magic Leap, advert basketball with air stats, Magic Leap.
Hmm.
When whale surprise jumps into a gym in mixed reality.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if this is. I'm projecting the. It must have blown people's mind.
But unfortunately, that product is still not out.
Ah,
Yeah, we don't have much information what is happening there. In fact, I think one point they were even tied up with Lucasfilms, and they were able to show like when you wear the VR headset, you're walking, and there are Star Wars characters walking around you, things like that, and
that's
you'll feel like
amazing.
they're actually walking around your room. They had a lot of demo pieces like that, but I don't know why they were not able to come to the
Ah,
like a mass adoption public, like how mobile phones penetrate our life. But that was the goal. That was the reason why Google and everyone invested on them heavily.
yeah, this
Mm.
is first. This is a great example actually that people took some good big strides very early part of the adoption and growth, and then definitely as you mentioned, very well funded company Next Leap, you guys right?
Magically.
Magic Leap, yeah,
Yeah.
Magic Leap coming there. I also heard that I have actually seen the ad of Ray-Ban working with Meta to create a Meta Ray-Ban glasses.
Yeah. That is already there. I think the version 2 came out. But that is no visuals, only audio.
Only audio.
Audio. There is an AI integration. You can speak to the AI. There's a camera. You can ask the AI what am I seeing, or just remind me to come back this to this place. Then the camera will record which place it is. It'll
Hmm.
record the GPS location, things like that.
So they have
Right
put
now,
like a memory in the
they have
glasses.
they have put an entire computing system inside the glasses, which can use the internet of your phone and communicate to the web. Yeah.
Wow,
But
that's
did you see Meta Orion?
no, I haven't.
Okay, so what Magic Leap is talking about, Meta actually showcased to the world. Just Google what is Meta Orion. So the reason why they partnered with Ray-Ban is also how the future of VR headset is gonna be.
Ah, Meta Orion, yes. This
So
is Mark Zuckerberg trying.
that whatever he's wearing, that is an entire VR headset. Whatever Apple has showcased or whatever right now Meta Quest 3, everything is there.
Oh, because we'll not need. Okay. So there is one billionaire called Mr. Elon Musk who's trying to put a neural link in my brain so I don't need to make a
Yeah,
phone to make a phone call.
yeah,
Then there's another billionaire who's trying to ensure that I don't have to use a phone call and then use Orion for everything. So either
yeah,
it's a chip in my brain or Orion.
yeah,
So it's phone,
yeah,
then Orion, then chip.
yeah. I think all can talk to each other.
Ah, nice. So
Mm.
again, this is um so Magic Leap happening in 2017-18. By what time?
I think even before that, I think the advertisement came much before that.
So Oculus came which year approximately?
Oculus came 2012. So
Ah, it's
yeah,
pretty early, man.
pretty
So
early.
they must have been working on the hardware for way before that.
So see, that time it was a very very basic tech at that time, like
Yeah.
when it came out. Yeah,
No, why I'm saying this is not just because what tech, but also about a random kid, a random boy or a random girl working on something which is not accepted because a lot of people here get bogged
yeah,
down by something called as PMF, product market fit, and
yeah,
then they say, oh, there is no market, let's stop it. So
yeah,
either you have to be son of a daughter of a government employee or a very rich person who has lots of money so you can sit
yeah,
and do whatever you want,
yeah.
no questions asked, or you need to have some backing by someone that
Uh-huh.
by large person who want to try these experiments either through incubators or something that they have some time, and you are not So if you are in 20s, you have some time to make a career. If you come
Yeah,
to late 30s and early 40s, especially in
yeah,
developing countries like India, and you haven't achieved something,
yeah,
most companies you would be hired at a middle management role. You
yeah.
can't start something. So then you have lost your, of course, the neuroplasticity also comes to the ability
Yeah,
to learn something new becomes a bit challenging as well. You
yeah,
can watch as many Coursera and Udemy and edX videos, but you'll not be able to absorb new tech.
yeah.
Uh, so it's a big risk you are taking in your life when you are young, working on an unproven technology without a product market fit. I'm
Hmm.
just trying to help both of us get into the shoes or the mind of a, I don't know who founded Oculus, but whosoever.
Um, Palmer looking something like that.
Yeah. So what would be his motivation? And then how did the acquisition happen by Facebook? What brought
So see,
them?
I think when Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg saw or experienced Oculus, they realized this has the potential to change or revolutionize the entire meaning of social networking.
Why did the Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey not say it?
So Twitter is more of like a professional platform or the shape it was taking.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, on the other hand, it was completely on it was like exactly what social media is all about, right? Compared to other professional platform, and Facebook were going and procuring anything which could threaten them, like WhatsApp. When they realized, social what the social networking could shift to WhatsApp, they went and procured that. When they realized Instagram could take away what Facebook was, they went and procured them. So similarly, they realized, like obviously, Facebook or any technology, it has a period. After that, that excitement of that will kind of die away. Then naturally a new thing will come and capitalize or replace that location. Then obviously, like you think about it, if Facebook in the next 10 years, 20 years, how many people will be using, how many
Mm-hmm.
repetitive people will be using, they will need something more. That is where metaverse fits. And for
Mm-hmm.
metaverse, ultimately how it is, you need a good hardware. You have a good hardware, then you can make a metaverse platform. So if you see the metaverse pitch, the metaverse horizon world, things like that, that is a more sophisticated or a futuristic way of social networking.
Mm-hmm.
So, say for example, how I see or what they are talking about, Meta Horizon, things like that. 20 years down the line, a kid comes back on full. They will wear a VR headset,
Yeah.
and he or she will be sitting or going to a virtual world to hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
They will.
I've seen a lot of Black Mirror episodes on Netflix.
That is more
Those-
or less kind of a reality. Yeah, going to be a reality. Yeah.
oh my god. Those are pretty scary.
See, even
Yeah.
right now, if you see, there are a lot active, I believe, around 12 million people across the world. They actively have a second life in metaverse platforms like
Oh
Sandbox or
wow.
Decentraland. Yeah, and it's quite addictive. Like once you get right now, you can access in your laptop. It's pretty much like a first-person shooter game. You walk around like every day. You can meet your friends in a very particular spot. When you spawn into that world, you will be at a courtyard or something, and you can ask all your friends to come to this courtyard and meet. Then from
Ah,
there, you go explore. You can bicycle around in that world. You will go sit in your space. You can have your own house. You can buy like that is where you saw, right? People, companies buying spaces in metaverse, things like that.
yeah.
Still active users are there. Like all the new gen kids, they are kind of into that. So obviously, when they grow up, they will look for a very sophisticated that sort of network. So once you are done with your daily life, then you have a different avatar of a different life as well. So you can
Hmm.
kind of maintain two different characters there.
And people can use their mobile phones to they can use their laptops to
Right now, people are losing a laptop, like how you play GTA
yeah,
5
yeah, yeah, of
online.
course.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
similar to that. They are playing
But how do
Metaverse.
they put on something on their eye?
Right now, they don't need it. So
Ah,
it is like a first-person shooter game, like how you play
okay, you can
GTA.
see from the eyes. You don't have to
Uh,
put on something and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. You
okay,
use your
understood.
keyboard to navigate around.
Ah, understood.
Mm.
That would be very immersive. Someone just sits those all the Black Mirror episodes of someone sitting in the sofa doing this and then
Yeah.
going navigating somewhere and then all these
I
are
think
very
more
similar.
relatable example is the Ready Player One.
Huh.
So if you see, that is exactly how it is gonna take shape.
And how many hours per day? Do you have that data? How many?
See, there are a lot of reporters have tried. I think there is a reporter in New York Times or Washington Post. I'm not sure. She did a challenge by herself, got herself a Quest 3, and she decided to wear for 24 hours and see how it's gonna be. So she went to an environment. She put the headset on, and she had documented her entire experience of how it was.
Uh,
Obviously, right now it is not a pleasant experience to wear a VR headset for a long time. But obviously, they're gonna cut down that gap, right? There are even
yeah.
prototypes for contact lens VR headsets.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm remembering a movie. I don't know if you have seen it by Ryan Reynolds called Free Guy.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
So he just said, "This is a video game," and he says,
yeah,
"Yeah, it's a video game. Yeah, it's a video game."
yeah,
Oh, it's pretty funny. And then he's trying to, and then the concept of NPC, and because now
yeah,
I see all the concept of NPCs coming up in
yeah,
really in the lingo on anonymous social networking sites like Reddit. When someone says, "Hey, he's an NPC," that means he's not a main player, not an alpha person in a company or in a department or something. They say he's an NPC.
yeah,
But the concept came from there that
yeah,
he's an NPC. He's not
yeah,
controlling the game. He's just
yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's just a
yeah.
innocent bystander, and something else happens. Then
Exactly.
when you're seeing that memory of free guy comes,
Yeah.
hey, I'm in the
Hey,
tail of a bad.
right now the Metaverse platform also, they will have. I think they have a set number of NPCs, but eventually once you have more people enrolled onto it, they will not need any NPCs. So at any point of time you log in, you will have people running around like an actual user.
Yeah.
Mm.
A lot of
I mean,
people also complain on chess.com that hey, there is a bot playing chess, or on Call of
yeah,
Duty that there is a bot playing this, and they are shooting so accurately or something of that
yeah,
sort. Or they're doing a very known mistake. They're just hiding there. They're
exactly.
not running away.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah,
Understood. So we have seen that VR's journey by now. Then makes a very steady picture of why Oculus, then why Facebook's interest in Oculus, how the evolution from regular all of us.
hmm,
If I do a bit of callback of our starting of the conversation, that if I take a picture of us talking here, a selfie of us talking, is that it's a great moment we are having together. Humans bond each other through feelings and moments when we feel our ideas meet, brains meet, and then we want to preserve that moment that hey, I talked to someone. When you meet a Rajnikant or a Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan or Sylvester Stallone, whosoever you want to,
yeah,
or Mark Zuckerberg or whosoever you take a
yeah,
picture because you want to capture that moment. So
yeah,
Facebook has shown a very good trajectory. I'm not
hmm,
trying to pat myself on my back that I am a great thinker, but what I am saying is what I said in the beginning is that when you're taking a picture, we're capturing a moment. Facebook is a place where we display a captured moment. And what Mark Zuckerberg says that after capturing moments and putting it up together, the next would be not looking at those past captured moments, but into creating experiences. Just like when we travel to maybe Jog Falls at Bhadravati to see the Jog Falls, where we
yeah,
want to have a moment, we can sit here and have a moment. Just
yeah,
like we have darshan on TV, or we
yeah,
have Krishi darshan or darshan of a Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam on TV
yeah,
happening. We sit back and say, "Oh, very nice." That's an
hmm,
augmented darshan for
hmm,
those who cannot travel. Kind of brings
yeah,
back the Mahabharata vibes that if someone has a Divya Drishti and can see very far things. But
yeah,
anyway, we'll stay on tech. We'll keep on tech, but we'll try to bring some anecdotes of how relevant this and kind of how similar history comes back to us.
yeah,
So we have looked into the challenges in VR adoption.
hmm,
We have looked at the adoption from the customer or from the person side. We have also seen how adoption started from very small, from just a cardboard cutting and putting a phone in there. Then a couple of people starting a company called Oculus and saying that, oh, we'll put some hardware there. And
yeah,
then a legendary founder or a billionaire said, okay, let me purchase that just to ensure that this is the natural progression of human mind from photos and videos to a VR concept.
yeah,
But there was another company that kind of sounds like a fruit. They took a completely different view at things.
hmm,
They started with a So they had a pioneer movement. They revolutionized the industry in 2007 8 when
Mhm.
their legendary CEO wearing a turtleneck walked to a stage, who is known to make great presentations and a great taskmaster, a hard taskmaster, but a
Yeah.
legendary amongst the founder.
Yeah.
All of the listeners know what I am coming to. The company is
Mhm.
Apple, and the CEO is the legendary, who is the CEO of Apple. Come on, you know that, right? So the
Mhm.
point I'm trying to say here is that why did Apple price the VR set when Steve Jobs made iPhone as the key product? So the flagship product of Apple is an iPhone. Every
Yeah.
year, the iPhone has the latest and the fastest chip and GPU and CPU. Now even NPU, the neural processing unit, everything will come from the iPhone as well. It is
Yeah.
the driver of the industry.
Yeah.
Then how come a $3,500 product be even imagined in the lab and launched? Of course, there are expensive products like higher capacity MacBooks and Macs and Mac Pros and Mac Studios, and they can run for thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. But
Mhm.
the flagship is an iPhone. Why
Mhm.
did Apple take that journey? Tell us a bit about Apple and their $1,000 product.
See, in my perspective, I don't think they priced it 3,500 to make good profit. It is because it is packing such high technologies inside, which hasn't been done before.
What is the
And
tech behind it?
so, if you see, it kind of use different type of processors inside. There is one processor just for the computing and the graphics, and there is one processor just to uh, I think it's like an API to receive all the signals from different sensors they have. I believe or H1 or H2 chip, something like that they have. So that is the thing. And for them, again, like Apple being Apple, they have to make a statement, and they cannot undersell or cheap sell anything. See, this is what I was talking about. M2 and R1. So M2 is for the basic computing, whatever like the general how a phone everything does, and
Yeah.
R1 is something again to capture all the sensors, information, everything at the precise time, I believe, without any latency issues. So it's like a more seamless experience. And
What is
Apple,
this? Yeah, sure,
yeah,
sure. Please continue.
and I think this is a first VR headset with a 4K display.
Hmm.
So that is also there. Like comparatively, others don't have a 4K. Even Oculus, the high end, doesn't have a 4K display yet. So a lot of tech goes in. Right now, it is very expensive to create a display with such high pixels.
De jargonize these two paragraphs for us, starting from this C till this R.
Okay. So stereoscopic 3D main camera system is like something they have in the front, which can capture a world. Stereo basically means 3D. You have depth in the image.
Okay.
So how you when you go watch a 3D movie in the theater, like more than things coming out to in front of your face, more than that, that's a depth. If two characters standing, one in the foreground, one in the background, then you can feel there's a depth between the character. Similar to how a human eye work, because there's a disparity between both your eye. Then you calculate that. Similar to what Tesla is using.
The
That is how they
superimposition happening.
yeah, superimposition happens, and depending on the distortion, they know this is how far the thing is. When you have that, you have depth to the image, so it will feel more real, and it is very complicated to run or shoot a 3D. Imagine like why a lot of movies are not shot in VR or 3D, because it's a little challenging tech. Post production also gets very difficult. Plus, like you have to capture same image simultaneously using different cameras or a different position rather. Then composite together, so you create a depth. And I don't think you have a mobile 3D camera. Like in mobile device, we have never seen a 3D camera. Apple has this spatial capturing experience in their Pro camera. So they have three different lens they use to capture the particular image, using two lens and to create that spatial imaging. That is what it is. Spatial photo, spatial video capture is pretty much like that. So it is like when you're wearing a VR headset, you move left, right, you will see a light change. So, for example, you hold a pen in front of you, and there is an object behind you. If it's a video, no matter how much you move, you will not be able to see. But if it's a spatial image, you will be. If you move your head right or left, you can see what is behind that. Right now, it is not the full capacity, but a small capacity. You can see that. See, these are the things, if you ask me, it is not really needed for at the moment, but they really, when they released it, they went full fledged. Probably these are the things they should be coming out like later in the version, like, fourth or fifth generation, when the mass adaptability is there. That time, probably they could release a pro version like this.
It's like launching a laptop that can show 4K videos when the internet is not fast enough. Someone has to download and watch or something. Uh, uh, are the content producers producing content of the capacity that can be consumed by this kind of a receiver?
Um, so if you
What percentage of content are capacity that can appreciate the strength of this receiver?
see this one, even though it's a VR device, but right now, if you see the entire Apple presentation, they won't even use the VR word once,
Mhm.
because there are a lot of baggage in VR right now.
Tell us
We've been
about the baggage. Very interested with your struggles. Bataiye.
we've
Please
been
tell.
hearing about the VR word VR for a long time, right? And everyone is like, that's the next big thing. That's the next big thing. They keep talking about that's the next big thing every year, but that never, till now, that next big thing moment didn't come for VR. When Google introduced their cardboard, it was known as the next big thing. When they came with the Daydream, it was the next big thing, but they discontinued it. Similarly, like any time when VR, like Oculus came, it was the next big thing. See, it is not that okay. VR is introduced now. From tomorrow onwards, it is gonna change each and everyone's life. Interaction didn't happen that way, because it is a new technology altogether. It needs time to understand how this is going to impact our life, where all it can fit into your life. It shouldn't be just like another tech, right? Rather, it is going to be a tech which is going to make your life really, really better.
Yeah.
So when mobile phone was there, it kind of filled most of the gaps in the world. So it was its time. A lot of money, everything was going into it. That time, really, you didn't need a new technology to replace your mobile phone, because mobile phone was just picking up. See, now mobile phone has reached a place where you don't like there is not much innovation to be done. Everyone started complaining about what is this last year's phone and this phone. There is no difference. If you see pretty much any major manufacturer, they kind of don't have much to offer other than cosmetic changes. That is when you know it has reached its peak, nothing beyond it.
Yeah.
This is the time where a new technology can come, start taking or starting its journey. Like how mobile phone, when it came, it didn't penetrate the world overnight. It
Mm,
took solid 6 7 years or close to a decade for it to have like a mass adoption.
yeah.
Now it is at the peak. Now a
Mm,
new technology can come and start that journey. I believe now we are is in the right place to start that journey of capturing the mass market.
yeah.
Probably in a decade's time, like how mobile phone is right now, a VR can be like that.
Mm. What comes to my mind is how popular BlackBerry used to be. Like
Mhm.
everyone in corporate had Blackberries.
Yeah,
You would never see someone with a suit and tie and not a BlackBerry in their pocket. They'll open and
yeah,
they'll only talk about, hey, give me a BBM pin.
yeah,
And then suddenly 2 years later there was no BlackBerry.
yeah,
There was a company whose name sounded like a fruit.
yeah,
And they said, wow, what happened? I remember those days of resistive touchscreen of Nokia.
yeah,
Res- People didn't know what a capacitive touchscreen was.
yeah,
And Nokia had a field day selling resistive touchscreen. It was like
yeah,
slide. Grrr,
Yeah.
slide. Grrr. Yeah, come on. I always let it will go so slow,
Yeah. And
laggy
you
and
need the
buggy.
stylus to be more precise.
Come again?
And you need to use the stylus to be more precise.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Remember HTC used to have HTC Vive, HTC Vive Pro, HTC HTC was used to make a lot of devices, and then used to be this pen
Yeah.
devices, stylus devices, and others as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then so why I'm saying this is because if Apple did it to BlackBerry, and today Apple is usually said that hey, Apple 16 Pro same as Apple 15 Pro. So could Apple be the next BlackBerry if they are not innovating? So is this their insurance policy?
More than insurance policy, this is what they learn from other companies' mistakes. Like, if you don't keep up with the trend, you will become redundant. So if Apple don't invest into VR right now, when VR becomes the thing, they may not have the time and energy to catch up with the market. So that is why I think they have kind of
So
going
so,
full fledged
so
into
if
it.
I'm spending time on you said the word called
Yeah.
Enigma, then it's an app.
Sorry.
Enigma is an app or a website.
No, no, time energy I meant. I didn't say anything more.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I heard it wrong. So metaverse is where people are spending a lot of time
Yeah.
or places there. So if I'm comfortable spending my time on metaverse, then the network effect because my friends are there, I will not come. So is Apple trying to put metaverse as an app on Vision Pro 5 years, 10 years down the line when if everyone spends time on just like Facebook. If everyone is
Yeah.
on Facebook, I'm on Facebook. I
Yeah.
can't be on some other app. If everyone is on Snapchat, I'm on
Yeah.
Snapchat. I cannot be
Yeah.
on Instagram, for example. Network effect happens. So
Yeah.
then are there multiple metaverses of Google and Apple as well, or what are they doing, or they are nothing? There's
So
only one metaverse.
think everyone will definitely launch a metaverse platform.
Ah,
Only one person will come victorious. Like you said, the
oh,
network.
oh,
Whoever is gonna pull the crowd and whoever creates a network feel, then they will succeed. Rest everyone will pivot to a hardware company. So like you can
oh,
watch iPhone, you can watch Facebook in an Android or an iPhone. So one software company, then multiple hardware company. Hardware you can pick according to your wish, but in end of the day, you will have to come to a one metaverse
ah. So
platform.
there won't be like two iOS and Android. There will be only one metaverse. There's no
Ah,
place for another because people will
soft,
not have time. Okay, I'll spend 6 to 8 in the evening. I'll spend here. Then 8 to 10
exactly.
I'll spend there.
It will kind of completely cut off the entire feel of a metaverse then, right? It is supposed to be like a second life. You cannot have like
Two
multiple.
second lives.
Yeah,
You can't be simultaneously on two
yeah,
places
yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time.
Yeah. So
It
there you
can
will see
happen.
a lot of integrations that way. Probably Apple can create a space, and one major company who comes with a successful metaverse platform, they can even integrate Apple spaces into that.
Hmm.
So in the actual metaverse, you
But
when you
what will I
probably
do there? There has to be some engagement. My friends, some
oh,
event, some big sports, something. I
yeah,
go to TV. I watch a film.
yeah,
So will I watch a film in a metaverse or play cricket in a metaverse? What will I do once I'm there?
yeah. So that is what. So for example, for example, metaverse is like a company. The Meta creates a platform like how Facebook is, and everyone accepts that. And I'm assuming, say for example, Apple then will be like, okay, we don't want to have a metaverse platform. We will create hardware for these metaverse platforms.
But Facebook has Oculus.
Oh, Facebook, well, that's okay. Like it's like Facebook. iPhone users also can access Facebook. Android users,
It's like me having an iPhone with just one app. I'm using iPhone to access one app. I will use
yeah,
Apple Vision Pro to access only one app called Facebook Metaverse. I'll tap on
yeah,
that and spend the entire time there.
yeah. When you want to go to metaverse, you need to do that. But for example, if you want to call your friend, like in the normal world, then you can still use it to call a friend.
Ah,
You want to
understood.
watch a movie, you can do it. If you want to watch a movie with your friends, then you might go to metaverse. But if
Ah.
you want to have a private time, you can watch it just using your device. You don't need anyone's help. You
So
go to the
real
metaverse
reality will have.
only for a virtual life, right? See, that is yet to take shape. So we never know
Yeah,
how that will actually
yeah,
take shape.
because both of us are talking on maybe Zoom or Google Meet here.
Yeah,
But in virtual reality, we can our avatars can talk to each other. We don't need to set up a Zoom call within metaverse.
exactly. We don't have to. We can meet as an different avatar, and we can move around.
Yeah, so then
Yeah.
within metaverse, there is no chance of creating another application ecosystem or another ecosystem, because maybe they will have some smaller ecosystem. There will be a Domino's shop, because I remember the NFTs were a craze that put a art there and make money from metaverse. That there's one
Yep.
picture, then blockchain and NFTs become really popular. That when that
Yeah.
will happen, we will charge royalty if someone comes and spend there. But
Yeah.
that's so we are still on the second line.
Hmm.
But we came to that deep world of metaverse. It was a fantastic conversation, because you mentioned that Apple didn't use the word VR. They're still using the word vision throughout the presentation. And then we
Hmm.
talked about, just for the listeners, a callback as well, so that they don't have a Christopher Nolan flashback, that we
Yeah.
why we went in the depth, because I and Abhilash are talking about why not use the word VR, and then how went deep about the word VR. Now we are back. So we are back on the line three of a visual aid that we are talking about. It's we are talking about Apple Vision Pro, and
Hmm.
Abhilash is helping to de-jargonize some tech words. So we have already done the spatial video and photo capture.
Yeah. So 18 aperture is again the specification of the camera.
Okay.
6.5 stereo megapixels is again a
What is a
specification.
stereo megapixel? I know it's a 40 megapixel camera on my phone. What is a stereo megapixel?
So stereo megapixel is again a same concept, like how you want the stereo vision. I think this is something you will start hearing more when they start talking about stereo visions. When you have a spatial image,
Ah.
so this will be something you will start hearing a lot.
Is it a good? I don't know what's a good. For me,
Uh,
40
so
megapixel is a good resolution. I don't know if this is a good resolution or bad resolution. What is?
I think megapixel everything will start taking a back seat. I think one thing people or everyone will start focusing more is on when I see a photorealistic environment, I need to have 6 degrees of freedom there.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, I shoot from in a 360 camera. I wear the VR headset on. I look up, down, left, right, turn around. I can do it from that one spot. Yeah, but what if I want to move my head forward?
Okay.
Then is the image in front of me getting closer, or is the same depth as when I was shifting back?
Hmm.
Do you get it?
So it's
If
X, Y, and Z axis, basically moving across Z axis.
yeah,
So there's a cube moving across Z axis or moving
yeah,
across Y axis.
when you
That
do that,
change of coordinates. It's like it's like vector physics.
yeah. So when that happens, it becomes more engaging and more pleasant experience for you. For example, I am you wear a VR headset. You're watching a image of you are sitting in front of a laptop. When the moment you put it on, it is a nice experience. You look around, you can see your phone, your laptop, everything. But the moment you want to see what is behind your laptop, you cannot.
Yeah.
You you try to move your head, you still see a laptop because it's a stuck image. Like the image, the 360 image doesn't have an information of what is behind your laptop. But if it's a spatial imaging, it is still cannot see completely behind what is your laptop, but you will have slight spatial information. You move your head, you can see a small part of what is behind your laptop. So that is what spatial imaging means.
Ah.
Even if you're not able to completely see it, gives you some sort of psychological effect that yes, the image I'm watching is good, as
Hmm.
in it is realistic.
And are the so what percentage of, say if there are 100 units of content, so what is the unit of measurement of VR content? It's like gigabytes, like regular thing, or movies? So what percentage of today's content has effect stereoscopic?
Stereoscopic is 3D, as in the depth. Spatial is what I'm talking about. When you move left and right, you
So
are able to
spatial,
see.
so
Yeah.
what percentage of content actually today?
Spatial, it is nothing, I believe. Like, even if you ask a full fledged filmmaker or They might have done something in stereoscopic, but never in spatial.
So if I want to watch a video, I can go to YouTube. If I want to watch a stereoscopic, if I have Apple Vision, are there like
Mm.
websites people can go to, or the like media
See,
labs
that
of universities?
is the reason why the pro versions of iPhone can take a spatial image right now, and stereoscope, even the Vision Pro itself can take a spatial image.
Hmm. So
See,
so
this is
they're like a prosumer. They are creating content as well as consuming content.
yeah. See, that is what this will evolve in a different way. If you ask me, the spatial image
Hmm.
capturing and all is not gonna be a practical solution for it.
Hmm.
For example, um, I like we are supposed to meet in my office.
Hmm.
I have a camera placed. If you're joining virtually, you will be able to only see from the camera perspective.
Hmm.
Okay, and that is a completer. Like if you in the see in the future, right now it's very exciting, but that is going to die out soon because you don't have the access to walk around in my office.
Hmm.
So that is where hyper imaging comes in.
Okay.
So hyper imaging is basically like if I create a 360 photo, then the computer generates how the space will look in realistic
Oh.
using Gen AI.
Oh.
So you have access to that environment completely. So you don't, it's pretty much like an ultimate spatial photo video where just using one image, 360 image of a room, I am able to walk around in that room.
Hmm. Very immersive experience.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is a psychological factor which is going to play. So
Yeah.
spatial computing, everything, it's like the skipping step towards that.
So at present people can't find a lot of content on internet. They may be able to search for a few websites, but on the laptops they can drag and see, like rotate it on like a.
Yeah, the functionality of that in laptop is nil. Like you don't need to do that, right?
Hmm.
But when you wear a VR headset and you're gonna consume your daily life, say for example, 4 to 5 years you're gonna spend on a VR headset, then
Hmm.
this will become a big problem. So that is why they are starting to move towards this direction, like
Yeah.
exploring this space.
Yeah, that's amazing, because for example, if Sony camera takes a picture, or
Hmm.
a Instax or a Canon takes a picture, and I see it on my Lenovo laptop or on my Samsung phone, the creation is by another OEM and device, and the consumption is on another device.
Yeah,
uh, Canon doesn't make phones so that the pictures can be seen better, or Sony doesn't make phones so that the Xperia will have a better image. But
yeah,
here Apple is making tools for creators as well and for consumers as well, because it's trying to
yeah,
create an entire ecosystem.
yeah. Right now it's more like a hand holding.
Did
They are like,
Oculus also make content create for creators
yeah.
recorders as well?
There is something called Oculus Studio, I believe. They will give you like a crash course, or they will handhold you in how to do content creation, as well as they also create content to set some sort of
But do they
base.
sell hardware for uh,
Sorry,
for creators?
no, no, no. They don't have any thing they sell for, but they
It's
will.
like Logitech camera is recording me, for example. I know we are getting to the fag, and you must be getting so many calls
One
and you're
second, I think
excited
I
to.
got a call, and probably your recording would have saved automatically, right?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah.
Just restart if you have minimized the app, so that will continue. So,
Mm.
for example, Logitech camera is recording me, for example. So,
Yeah.
in your case, you are saying is that Oculus doesn't make hardware for creators. It makes uh, Quest for consumers. It's a consumer device company, not a creator device
So
company.
there is a Quest Pro version that is mainly for the like um, uh, that is mainly for the developers. That
Developers,
is,
in the sense, for you're getting what I'm saying, right? It's not like, for example, Kodak doesn't make content for consumers. If you're taking a picture, you're a creator.
yeah, yeah,
If you give me a picture, I'm a consumer. I'm watching that picture. I'm a consumer. If you print it
yeah.
out and give it to me, so Kodak made stuff for creators. So
But okay,
if I need a 360-degree camera, Apple had, for example, iPhone doesn't have 360-degree camera, for example, or
yeah,
VR camera, for example.
yeah,
They don't
yeah,
need to. They need to just ensure that people can see 360-degree content on their phone by an
yeah,
app or by a receiver.
yeah,
There's a sender, there's a receiver, there's a message. That's how
yeah,
communication works, right?
yeah, yeah,
And so receiver needs to have, it's like a radio receiver. like a ham receiver. Like a ham
Yeah.
receiver can send also, receive also, but my
Yeah.
simple radio can only receive.
Yeah.
I don't make broadcasting radio. So
Understood.
why
Yeah.
is Apple getting into making? Why is Apple making iPhone so that it can record? Is it trying to have? Where I'm getting to is that YouTube got great success because of consumer-made amateur content.
Yeah.
Uh, YouTube didn't become popular because of Rajshri Production, Dharma Production,
Yeah.
or Lucasfilm, or MGM Studios. They didn't, and then YouTube became a multi-billion-dollar company and it got sold to Google, and the rest is
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Same is true for SoundCloud and others as well. So,
Yeah.
are you seeing consumer-driven content coming in here? Bit more, or are you seeing professionally made content driving adoption and consumption? Because how do you see that happening?
See, that's what, like, usually if you see any big tech comes, it usually be done by professionals in the beginning. But in this stage, it is like they have kind of taken approach where they have given access to the amateurs first. Like you can do a special recording by yourself first, then you will be able to watch it in the headset. And obviously, I assume right now they will be pushing other major production houses as well to create spatial images as well, where people can experience it. And another thing is spatial images cannot be experienced anywhere else other than VR headset.
Oh,
That is also there. So the ecosystem for the end user to watch it also very limited. So
hmm.
I think again, it I think probably time will save us. Like once you have like a
Is the
mass,
tech cross-platform, or is the tech proprietary to Apple or Facebook?
I think
Or
spatial photos are cross platform. Like it has been there.
it's like the JPG or PNG format, and any laptop
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can see it
yeah. So
in
there was
Linux
many
and Mac
companies
and
who worked on this before. So if you've seen the concept of you can take a photo, then you can change the focus of the photo. That is a similar technology to this. There is a company called Lightro and all.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I
they
think
used to do
Corel acquired Corel Light Draw. No, no.
Lightro, but actually got shut down because
Ah,
that technology was too advanced at the moment. That time itself, I think even now that Lightro technology is too advanced.
ah.
Lightro again, once mass adaptation of VR comes, then Lightro will come. Not Light, Lytro.
Lytro. Light
Uh,
Draw.
you can go for check Lightro camera. This is the camera.
Ah,
Yeah.
Mountain View, California.
Yeah.
Acquired by Google and also work. So Google kind of acquired their employees later
Yeah.
on. Pretty handy, pretty small camera, pretty portable
No.
camera.
So this was the initial model. I think if you just go for a Google image search, I'll show you what a real spatial computing camera.
Okay.
Thing. Just Google Lightro 360 cam. Just
Ah,
yeah, I think if you play the video, I think you'll have a understanding of it.
this
Second
one.
one. Yeah. Um, it was like they're too early for that technology.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe correct. Too early, as well as uh, the adoption will come. Will because they have shown the light towards where the world is going. The
Yeah.
world will go towards this direction.
Yeah.
Quickly, we'll see what do now. This is all the receiver cameras.
All
Let's
the
come to the.
sensors, yeah, they have two high resolution main cameras.
This is for
Then,
receiving.
what? As in to capture. So
That's what I'm not able to understand. So if I'm watching a Netflix movie, I'm not
yeah,
catching. I'm receiving. So my eye is the camera. There is the content on the TV. I'm
so
watching it.
for eye screen is there, not cameras.
Yeah,
You're watching through the content through a screen.
yeah,
Camera is to record the outer world.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, this one. Okay, understood.
yeah.
Oh, understood.
So
6 world-facing tracking cameras.
yeah. So that is again to track your hand movement, things like that. Because for Vision Pro, the select is your click, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
So wherever your hand is, it needs to see. So there are camera facing up, down, left, right.
So it will see my body.
Yeah,
Instead of putting four cameras, the four part of the room who is watching me, it's like the older days you put like dot 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 and a person walks. You put like a green cloth and the actor will have like stick figure action animation kind of thing.
yeah,
And then you will replace it. Even now the Marvel Avengers movie, you see all the actors wearing some suit and then they're like dots and then they do
yeah,
something and then there is thing happening. That's not
yeah,
so that's what they do. Okay. And they have put a LiDAR scanner.
yeah.
Why?
LiDAR is again for depth sensing, right? Like an
But
accurate
this
depth.
tech is there on a Mercedes car for collision prevention. It's very expensive tech.
Not really. LiDAR is not that expensive. Like it is. It's a sensor, right? Like there are. I think before LiDAR, there are a couple of sensors called structured light, time of flight. So it's similar technology to that.
Why did Tesla choose to go for vision camera and AI through vision, taking pictures frequently rather than LiDAR one?
See, that is what Tesla. I believe their entire vision was completely different. Automation driving, right? That was completely different altogether. And I'm not really sure why they chose this one, because it is again, in my opinion, I would feel much safer in a LiDAR,
Yeah, I also
because
see that Google Waymo thing. No, it's rotating thing on the top of the car. It's rotating
yeah,
round, round, round,
yeah.
round.
See that rotation also can that will
That's
change.
LiDAR, right? That's the
That's
thing that.
LiDAR. Yeah. That's the
Ah.
LiDAR, but that again can change. That will change to more compact, small things around the car, like how Tesla you don't even see the camera where it is, right? So similar to that, it will definitely come. But I'm not sure about why Tesla chose
Why did Apple choose LiDAR? Does Oculus
app.
Quest have LiDAR?
No, it doesn't have. Apple chose LiDAR. It is again for the depth sensing. I think they are planning like, say for example, you wear a Vision Pro, you can pin a screen on your wall. Okay, no matter where you change your position in the room, the pinned vision will be always there. So for that, to know the exact position of where need to be pinned, they wanted LiDAR.
Ah, so that's where others will support. What
Yeah.
is inertia measurement unit?
In inertia measurement
Four
unit.
IMUs. It's like the CPUs,
I'm not sure. I'll have to check it up.
flicker sensor, and ambient light. I think they are simple sensors.
Yeah, that is important.
There is a lot of tech behind it. So
Mm.
we will come back. We'll quickly come back. I know we have stretched a bit beyond a lot, not bit. Yeah. So I guess we're talking a bit about user experience. Like I know you're
Yeah,
not a doctor, but
yeah,
why do some people feel a bit nausea or dizziness? And because you have been part of
yeah,
implementing and giving it recording as well as helping people experience VR as well.
yeah.
What have you seen in real life?
Okay. So, like if you see the medical reason why people feel nauseous, like if the content is not delivered right. So, say for example, I'm watching a motion in VR. Okay. Now my brain is saying I sees that the body should experience say couple of G's because there is motion involved. But the body says I am feeling 0 G. So then the brain feel okay, there is something wrong. There is some sort of miscalibration. So what does the body actually do? Okay, probably something I ate kind of poisoning me. That is why my sensory motors are giving wrong signals. So the natural inclination is to throw up. Something you ate is poisoning you. That is the reason. Like when people experience motion signal, they throw up. So it's like a body's default mechanism to kind of come out of the situation, to make sure the all the motor senses are working fine. That is why when if your content is not shot right in a VR or there is a motion latency, when you wear a VR headset, you look around and the display comes a little bit slower, it creates nausea.
Oh,
When content is not shot right, you are seeing a motion without giving a reason for your body to feel motion. If you're on a hydraulics, you look around, you feel like there is a gush, wind gushing on your face. They create those sort of experience in VR experience centers and stuff, right?
yeah. Do you remember those older days? Not older days. Even now, there used to be like 6D movie theaters.
Yeah,
They will make the seat go.
So that way, somewhere you are able to trick your body and mind together. So if you do the job right, if your body and mind is tricked together right, then it will not give you that sort of nausea. But if you completely ignore that science, then it will create nausea. So that is again on one of our USPs. We have derived a grammar on how to shoot VR, so it doesn't cause nausea, especially for wedding contents, right? Like in a family, like a 16-year-old to 8-year-old, they'll have to watch. So we have to ensure that our content is short and maintained, follow the grammar in a way that even an 8-year-old, when they watches VR for a longer time, they will not get nausea. So there is little
Fantastic.
science behind it that you have to just follow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I understand, but the point is, does this nausea happen if you watch it for a longer time, or can it happen after watching few minutes as well?
If you see a wrong content, just few seconds itself can create you
Oh, a
nausea.
few seconds itself is a good trigger.
Yes, it's a good trick.
Oh,
Even if you watch it for a 5-second content or a 10-second content with a bad like psychology behind it, it will give you instant nausea.
oh man,
Yeah.
that's pretty scary. So,
Especially motion. You have to be really, really diligent in using how VR has to be shot, so it doesn't create you that motion sickness.
motion sickness is the right word.
Yeah.
We used to have motion sickness when you used to go on long rides in a car, or even in Indian railways. People feel sickness, or even in aeroplane as well. It's a
Mhm.
natural human tendency. So VR is not to blame. You can't throw VR under the bus, literally or metaphorically, for motion sickness. It can happen to even you are traveling on the highway as well,
Yeah.
especially the quality of
That's
highway.
why if you see in the Oculus store, you have comfort rating.
Uh-huh.
So they will warn you. Like if it's a comfortable rating, that means anyone who watches it shouldn't have any.
It's like the PG rating. PG
Yeah.
rating of no. Oh.
The content says like hardcore, and you will have if you are not that strong person or you have very sensitive to motion sickness, you will get easily triggered. So like
Oh.
all the application in Metastore will have this sort of comfort rating.
Oh.
Mm.
Nice. So, this is something that can be solved using tech and at the time of recording. And maybe, so if it's recorded well, that problem can be solved. It's not like at the time of viewing, if the content is having high, it's like when I'm playing Call of Duty on my device, and
Hmm.
if there's a lot of latency, I shoot someone, person has already moved, so I miss it. High
Yeah,
latency is a big headache. So it's
yeah.
not nausea being caused because of the latency in viewing content and it's being streamed. I was thinking that can you cache the content local in the device for a longer
It,
time period? There's no nausea is not due to the viewing; it's because of
that
recording.
also plays a role. So not the viewing experience, rather than the gyro communicating with your screen. So you move your head left, lightly to the left, then the gyro communicates to the processor saying that now you show the vision on the left side. So it
Okay,
has pan, right? So if that doesn't happen simultaneously, even if there is a small lag, you move then the vision.
at the receiver side or at the Abhilash Balan side. Abhilash Balan has done an amazing job. Can still nausea happen at the
Yeah.
receiver side?
So receiver side, if you're not using a good headset,
Acha.
if your
Define a good headset.
good headset means like they designed the entire package in a way all the sensory elements in that particular hardware communicate with a very very minimal latency.
That
So
means
that
CPU should be strong enough.
not just CPU. So that is why if you see the Apple VR headset, they are talking about two chips. One is M2, one is R1. So the R1 takes care of all the communication comes from each and every sensory is delivered to the processor at the right time,
Hmm.
like without any delay. So if you
Okay.
expect the processor to capture all the sensory inputs and process it, compile it and send to the device and accordingly move, then it takes time. So that is why they introduced a separate chip just to capture all the sensory inputs and
Hmm.
accordingly communicate to the main chip, taking some load of the main chip. So that is a approach you will be seeing most of the upcoming hardware is going to take.
So that good hardware can ensure one is that the recorders or the content creators or producers from the corporate side or from the production side, they're anyway trying to use technology to reduce nausea.
Mm-hmm.
If people are using their own headsets to download a copy and watch it later,
Yeah.
like marriage videos multiple time, like, so they would need to have a good enough device as well, so that there's no nausea happening. It's not,
Yeah.
the blame is not on the VR producers,
That's right.
on
Yeah.
the device as well. It's like having a laggy, it's having like an old phone which has laggy 4K content, because the
Yeah.
phone, the 4K is shot very well, but the
Yeah.
phone is processor is slow, so video is laggy. So
Yeah.
nausea can be caused there as well.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
that clarifies the concept that, of course, you folks are taking a lot of care to ensure that a
Mm-hmm.
large. We will come to how life VR is a life VR's journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, because that's exactly the next topic I'm coming to, lessons making life VR profitable. But
Mm-hmm.
before we close the user experience part, um, what um, if I talk about user comfort, how
Mm-hmm.
long can, for example, uh, older days people used to say, "Hey, Nawal," or "Hey, kids, sit away from TV. Don't watch TV from too close," or "Only watch TV for so many hours."
Yeah.
Maybe my family members wanted to watch Chitrahar or something else on Doordarshan or something, or Krishi Darshan, or they wanted me to go away for reading or whatever. But people used to limit the screen time from the very old days, even
Mm-hmm.
before Apple invented screen time app
Mm-hmm.
and notification and stuff.
Yeah.
So when we talk about user experience, we talked a bit about dizziness, nausea, VR headsets. We also talked a bit about the steps being taken to improve user comfort.
Mm-hmm.
How long can someone watch VR or be in virtual reality without getting hurt?
Okay. See, what, like in
You talked
the,
about a reporter who stayed for 24 hours.
that's right. Yeah. Okay. How it used to harm your eye back in the days, it's a completely different technology altogether. It was called a CRT monitor. It was a ray emitting, right? Cathode ray emitting. So that technology had a harm because it sends powerful rays into your eyes. Right now, if you see the LCD, LED, OLED, everything, it is kind of mimicking a real life light. So that is why right now people will not tell if you watch a LCD or LED for a long time, it is going to affect your eye because the technology has shifted. So similarly, VR headset, just because you're wearing for a longer time, is not going to affect your eye. But more than that, it is a psychological aspect we are aware of, similar to screen fatigue. Or are you allowed to have this kind of like a colorful lights or focus information coming to you? So more than a direct health effect, it is a psychological reason that people should be aware of wearing VR for a longer time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so there's no harm coming, but yeah, someone people might get a bit disoriented,
Yeah.
uh, and then coming back to daily life,
Yeah.
yeah, it might
That
feel
is
a
it.
bit
Rather than a direct health benefit, it is psychological.
understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
The same
Uh,
reason why Apple limits the use of any mobile phone will tell you, it's healthy screen time should be like less than 4 hours or something a day.
yeah.
It's not because that the screen is going to affect your eye. It is more because of your personal well-being.
I thought the screen is going to give me eye power like -1, -2, -3.
So the new screens will not give you that. That gen kind of ended with CRT monitors. You see,
Is it?
yeah. The
I had heard that people are getting like thicker glasses because of.
the right now the only thing which can affect you is the blue light. So you have blue light filters. Yeah.
Yeah, even I think Titan launched glasses which are
With
like blue
blue light
light
filters. Yeah.
reading, so that they told, hey, you work on computers a lot, buy these glasses with blue
Yeah.
something protection. So I said, okay, perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Good. So user comfort and more immersive experience. So now we, since as you would have felt till now, is that uh, from our conversation as well, we have been highly tech and
Mm-hmm.
developer and ecosystem and evolution driven. This podcast has, since its journey, not been a promotional one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we still have founders and CEOs and CTOs and coming in. So
Yeah.
tell us a bit about, you talked about your studies at Deakin, at Melbourne, and then we try to interweave so that there's a linear timeline coming in.
Yeah.
Um, You also told, I think 2015 when LifeVR was conceptualized may not be registered, and uh, so that there is bit of background here. So what key learnings have shaped your journey in LifeVR? How has LifeVR uh, impacted you as a person, and how have and what is your imprint on LifeVR? For example, Apple's success or Apple's failure would be a big feedback to Steve Jobs. But in the some way, there is a bit of Steve Jobs in every iPhone, because he would have conceptualized that my phone should stand up for some values or some technology baselines so that industry can look up to. So, how much Abhilash is in LifeVR and how much LifeVR is in Abhilash?
Mhm. Um, See, when we started the company, it was more of like we believe this is the future. And when virtual reality becomes a new norm and everyone's life virtual reality is going to be there, we wanted life here to be have a major role in that. Like how, for example, like Xerox, like even photocopy, even though the name is, but people know it as Xerox, right? Right. So that is the gap we saw, and that is why we wanted to make it. But when we entered the space, we realized, it is very, very early stage, and the journey will depend on various other factors, similar to like how when YouTube launched, broadband connectivity played a key role in their success. Similar to that, for Lifeware also to succeed, we need to have lot of other factors to be right, hardware especially. Without a good hardware, I told you, like when we started off with cardboard headset, only the tech enthusiasts used to work. So similarly, like when Google Daydream also stopped, it was kind of a hit for us. We were scared. What does the future look like? That is when Oculus came for the rescue. Then Oculus has been there through that journey. Now you see all other major players was coming in. So that is what. So there are a lot of various factors. And what I played in life here is the trial and errors. I think when we started, we didn't have like a grammar book. How, if you see the existing photography, videography, how the cinematography has evolved, there is a grammar. When a newcomer comes, they can always refer to the grammar. So they don't have to reinvent the way. They can take off from a base which is already set. But for VR, that base is not set because it is a completely new technology. So that is something I have contributed to life here, or we have learned together in this journey to set or create that grammar. What is the do's and don'ts? That was not defined. So it we were able to define it only through that experience of like getting some hand dirty, going there and doing things. Only in post you will know what we did was wrong because there is no visual playback also. So I think that is the experience. Now when we go for an event, we are able to understand, or we are able to visualize. Okay, this is how it has to be done if the output has to be that way. So that only can come with experience, and plus experience like trial and error. So this is what been our journey.
And tell us about an experience about you as a CEO or as a founder trying to figure out some challenges that you didn't see beforehand and then you solve that challenge.
The main thing is ease of access. That is something, we create content, we go deliver with a VR headset. The family loves it, everything. Then we follow up with the family after 6 months. How was the experience? Are you getting to show? They're like, I forgot how to use the headset. They find it complicated. So with the Oculus one, you wear the VR headset, you have certain set of things you have to do. If you draw a boundary, then you have to be there inside the boundary for the experience to happen. So these are the feedbacks we took from them. Then we created an application where the application does all those things. We The goal was to make it as simple as like a TV example I told you. You take a remote, you have a red button. It is like a standard every television. You click on the red button, the TV turns on. So same way we created an application, where their application with the couple's photo will be there in the tab itself. They just click on it, it opens up. They don't even need a use of a controller or anything. With a simple hand gesture of waving or trying to touch it, it will start the content.
Hmm.
So that way, we are able to ensure that our customers are able to have a ease of access experience of their content. So, like even a say like the bride's mother or father, they are able to access those content without depending on their kids.
Hmm.
Even if they don't have a tech background, it is easy for them to use.
And have you got a chance to interact with the traditional videographers just to understand how different is the emotional connect with a regular video versus a VR video?
Okay, both have its own significance.
I know I'm talking emotions to a tech, but
Yeah,
we are all left and right brain. So,
yeah. So photography wise, like if you see VR can give something a photographer cannot. So that is,
mhm.
for example, take the most, for example, a South Indian wedding. I
Okay.
think the most important scene will be the tie knotting scene. Yeah. So tie knotting scene, what can a photographer and a videographer focus on? They have to focus on the tie knotting part. A virtual reality camera present there, it will be shooting the tie knotting scene as well as all the emotion around. Naturally, it comes with it. So what it gives is like a time travel access to that particular moment. So every time you see that scene, you're gonna get a different story out of it. Probably
Hmm.
the first time you will be only looking at the tie knotting scene. Then probably when you pan your head left or right, you will see the father reaction, you will see the mother reaction, you will see
Hmm.
this reaction. So every time you watch that particular scene, you're getting different emotions out of it.
Hmm.
That is a byproduct we have figured out or we have seen
Yeah.
use of VR.
That's beautiful because regular camera would have like so much zoom. Even if even if you use an ultra wide lens,
Yeah,
the objects will become like huge, larger, and distant. But your
yeah.
field of vision will increase with ultra wide lens. But still, there's still some limitation. You'll still
Hmm.
be missing something unless you are using 360 camera front and back like Google 360.
Yeah.
Even then, but this is like looking here, looking there. It gives another view at this point.
Creating
That's
so passion for the user. You get a
yeah.
sense of the place.
Yeah, we want to see how we felt, and how we looked when we felt that thing. For example, what comes from our mind is a lot of YouTube videos get even more popular when someone else responds to or reacts to that. There are a lot of millions of views of someone watching another video and reacting. So we
That,
want to think that, hey, if Abhilash would have been here, if he would have been, how would he would have reacted? Or if Nawal would have been here, he would have completely gone bonkers.
yeah,
That we want to see how his we want to see humans relate to each other through our expressions. So we want
absolutely.
to
Yeah,
uh, so see that's the reason people those videos become popular, because they want to see how does he react to him,
yeah,
or actors reacting to them in the movie, and then we watching the third person, me watching him.
yeah.
Oh man, that's human psychology.
Mm.
It's a beautiful deep dive into human mind. So that's a very good feedback as compared to improvement over a video. Um, tell me a bit about an incident where you would have, as you mentioned, it's a learning journey where you
Mhm.
would have reacted, not reacted, but you would have responded to a situation where the entire recording would have gone wrong. Of course,
Mhm.
a lot of people only talk about successes, but
Mhm.
life is 99% learning and 1% success.
Yeah.
uh, there could be a selection bias if you only talk about winners, CEOs. That's the reason I really like looking at Lightrow and others as well, because there's a lot of things to learn,
Mhm.
and a lot of economies have a culture where
Yeah.
if someone doesn't succeed, it's perfectly fine. Someone took a shot, didn't succeed, it's fine. Move ahead in life.
Yeah.
So we don't want this to be an episode where we are all sycophants and saying, "Hey, great Abhilash, wow Abhilash, amazing Abhilash." That's not an episode. So tell us
Yeah.
a bit about an incident where you completely goofed up, and then how do you handle why that goof up happened? What did you learn from it? And how did you manage the situation after goof up?
So errors wise, definitely plenty of errors along the journey. But one thing we were very, very particular is that we will make sure we will not commit same mistake twice.
It's
So every
amazing lesson.
time we create or we encounter a mistake, and yeah, they are all being pretty big ones. So like starting from we lost the content of an entire wedding.
And you survived to tell the story. There were
Yeah.
no guns pointed at you. Oh my god.
So there were so that is what
I
we
hope you didn't make the girl marry again or the boy marry. Hey, sir, please, once more, sir. We didn't missed it.
thankfully it was not a wedding, like it was a birthday party. So
Are.
that the damage was little less.
So you said
But
next year birthday party is on us. We'll come, we'll give you good discount next year.
really, that is what we did. But
What
yeah, we
happened?
ensured
Why did
the
it go wrong? Root cause analysis?
no. So the process is like we once the shooting is done, we remove the SD card from the camera. We transfer all the content to a server. Then we keep the server
Not
and
server. So not a laptop here. You
not
just put it on upload directly.
not the cloud server. We have a local server.
Local server. Acha. NAS
Yeah,
server. So that this redundancy in the content. RAID
yeah,
0, RAID 1 kind of stuff.
yeah. So that is what happened. Yeah.
But while recording, you're recording only on one card. What if the card gets corrupted or the camera gets heated up while recording? Then you are dead.
So that used to happen before. So that is when every scene will be captured in two cameras simultaneously, left, right.
Double the cost for you, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
But again, it added a creative side where we are able to have different perspective even for the same moment.
Yeah, but that gives you a bit of redundancy that
Yes,
if
it's a
if a
tendency.
card failure happens.
Yeah, because card failure will happen in VR because we are shooting the contents in 6K to 8K resolution, and everything saving to the card, and the camera gets heated up like crazy. So if you see, there is I think the someone had put it up in Reddit. The percentage of error for VR cameras were around 7%.
Ah,
Yeah. So if you shoot 100 video, there is a chance your 7 videos will be corrupted.
man.
And for us, there was even one of a wedding, especially the tie knotting scene got corrupted. But thankfully, that time we had kept a redundancy of having two cameras. So obviously, we had the scene from the other camera.
Hmm.
So that was our first learning. Whatever important moments happen, we'll make sure there are multiple cameras at that particular scene.
Hmm.
Especially with the big cameras, when you stop a recording, it will have 6 lenses. It will have to store 6 different, like all the footage has to go to like their respective SD cards. Then there's a master SD card, which will have the address for everything. So even if any one of this saving goes wrong, the entire footage will get corrupted.
Oh, it's like multiple tracks of the same video.
That's it. Not multiple tracks with different perspective.
Okay.
Left, right. Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
that is why it little complicated process at the moment. Obviously, in future, all
And you
simply.
use like FCP or Logic Pro for audio and FCP for video, or like what software do you use?
It depends. There are FTP can be used. We use Premiere Pro. Depending on the
So
requirement,
there's
we
no
use.
like I thought like for regular videos it's FCP. For VR there would be like some other VR FCP. Same software can be used to make
So
VR as
same
well.
software can be used. So there is a process like it is a 360 content. If you want to experience a 360 content, it has to be experienced in a VR headset.
Huh.
But then editing cannot be done on a VR headset at the moment. But we are we have sent couple of emails to FCP, Premiere Pro, all other major video editing platform, asking them to give a plugin to support a VR headset.
Hmm.
So if that's the case, then we can wear a VR headset and we can edit.
Have you written to this Yelahanka app accelerator, Apple? Have you gone there and met people?
No.
I have gone there. So there is an Apple app accelerator at Bengaluru at Yelahanka 20th floor building. Uh,
Okay.
I have been there a couple of times. They
Mm-hmm.
do this developer relations meetup. So IBM Apple had a very big collaboration for enterprise mobility devices and stuff. So I used to go and meet, and there was multiple presentations on developer ecosystem. So they do this XR workshops,
Mm-hmm.
and they also meet content creators. So I'll put you through. So we
Okay.
will have a discussion later on
Yeah.
offline, and we'll try to do something that can help you. I'll try to see who I can talk to there. But see,
Okay.
but no promises. But again, I'll try.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
So that will help. So so what you're saying is, so your lesson here is, you are requesting some of those OEMs to have plugins so that you can edit there. Otherwise, FCP
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah, and consider, like, start, because this is there, like, this sort of, because right now not many user base are there, right? No one is trying to
yeah,
edit. So because of that also they are not considering.
uh-huh.
Yeah, so that is what trying to.
It's a chicken and an egg story.
Yeah.
So we have to do something, and then user adoption comes.
Yeah.
So so I remember looking at your face and your reaction when you saw, I think, 130 million, 150 million number on Google
Yeah.
Cardboard, and
Yeah.
that your reaction on your face was of disbelief and pleasant surprise. So
Yeah.
where did those millions go? What are those people doing right now when Google Cardboard is shut down?
It
Because
was.
why are they not coming to
Yeah.
Apple?
Okay, so it was, with Google Cardboard, it was never been really bought. I think purchasing number will be less.
Ah,
It was more like a companies giving away to promote certain products. So, hospitality industry used to give away VR headset for the people to experience their properties.
okay.
We ourselves have done weddings where we distribute VR headsets so people can watch the wedding.
And then it's like the movie theater. You have to give your camera back before you leave.
No, no, no.
You
You
give it
take,
away.
yeah, cardboard it is around 200 rupees.
Okay.
So we only
But
tell
like
them,
this in the cinema hall, you have to give your 3D glasses back when you leave, right?
that is different, right? This is like a cardboard piece you take home, you scan or load the content in the phone, put your phone inside and watch it.
Hmm.
So, so most of the cardboard headset usage happened as a giveaway. Big companies giving away, like for product launch, things like that.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. It all become, even I think in India, I believe Tata for Tiago, they shot a commercial in VR. They had stamped cardboard headset with newspapers.
Wow.
Mm. I think it is Tata. I'm not sure, Tata or someone did it. But so this is how the VR kind of happened. The
Hmm.
cardboard headset. That is the big number, and it is again everything is one time use. I
Hmm.
believe. Uh, so that is the main problem. There is no. You have an headset. You saw
Hmm.
one particular content, and then you don't know what you can use it for.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking aloud. I'm curious that there are like millions of people who don't know about a thing called Pokemon Go. Next day they're chasing Pokemon Go, and then that craze goes away, and then they return back to life. So there's no addictiveness to VR.
See, the stickiness can come when you have diverse application. Why did you get addicted to phone? What if your phone had only talking feature? Then you may
Then I
not
use
be.
a normal phone. Why will I use a smartphone? Waste of
Yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly. So that is what I think. You need more and more diverse application from within VR. That is where all the other branches come in.
So why
What
are people not coming together?
coming together as in?
Like, why are people not making diverse application? And like Apple can't make all the apps in the App Store.
Yeah,
How did Apple App Store come into existence? How did Google Play Store or Chrome Web Store, even before that, Firefox applications and extensions were like big extensions. You can do
mm,
modify custom theme skin of Firefox, do download videos. Everything came because people used browser. So
yeah,
browser was needed. So then the downloading YouTube videos was the biggest thing. Hey, you can extension download YouTube videos. So
that's
why?
right.
So the point is Firefox cannot make it. Mozilla can't make it. So
Yeah.
why aren't people coming together for VR or
See,
distribution?
that is the main purpose of Apple releasing a VR headset right now, right? It is not
Is
a.
it that people are not investing in ecosystem? Did Apple or Google invest in ecosystem, or people just created something? And how does a marketplace happen?
So, right now, the focus of Apple is to create a headset with all the possible sensors, features. That is why it is costing 3,500. And
Okay.
they are not expecting a normal person or a consumer to buy it.
Ah,
It is the goal is that all the developers buy it, all the big MNCs buy it. Then they
so
will
that's
start.
not a receiver set. Okay, pardon me for
Yeah,
my pedantic and very lesser level of knowledge. So that is not a receiver set. That's a producer's
that
device.
for content creators. Yes,
Ah, it's not. It's not like cardboard is not a creator. It's not a it's not a transmitter. It's a receiver. This
that's right.
is creators. Oh,
This is creators. So I think even Tim Cook in one of his recent interviews, someone asked him, "So do you use VR on a regular basis, the Apple Vision Pro?" He said, "Not yet. Right now, whatever he uses VR or the Vision Pro is to check out all the applications all the MNCs are developing for Vision, as in
hmm.
applications of their products." So, for example, if it's a hospitality company, they will be creating their applications for Vision. If it's a fintech, they will be creating their applications for Vision. So,
Okay.
what Tim Cook is saying, he is experiencing different application what businesses are doing for them using Vision.
Hmm.
Right now, again, it is not accessible for any of the public. It is only for the internal team of that particular company as well as Apple, just to understand what all beneficial or a user-friendly applications can be created.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we haven't spoken about a very large giant till now. I had kept it for a bit, but I'll open that name of a giant called Microsoft.
Mhm.
What is Microsoft Kinect and their journey in VR?
So Microsoft hasn't really come out into VR yet,
Okay.
but they are focusing quite a lot on metaverse platform, which
So they are
is
supporting Facebook because
not.
metaverse is Facebook. Is metaverse a common noun or a proper noun?
So metaverse is supposed to be a common word. Like it is metaverse is the name of what a Second Life platform is all about.
I get very scared when you say Second Life. Second Life is a company. Metaverse,
Yeah,
I think it's like you're talking about Facebook.
yeah.
Okay.
So that is the reason why Facebook changed its name to Meta. They cannot use metaverse, but they
Oh,
can use Meta. So naturally, when you say metaverse, you relate to Meta.
ah.
The
So
entire thing
Microsoft hasn't gone deep. I, I
they
remember
have.
Xbox Connect. So I'll talk a bit about Sony PSVR as well, little bit PS
Yeah,
Vita, PSVR as well. But let's talk about Microsoft. We're getting into the gaming side a bit, and again we'll come back to Life VR again. But
yeah,
because we talked a bit about this thing, so I just want to touch because we don't want to skip Microsoft in the entire conversation.
yeah.
What have you seen Microsoft's device ecosystem in the VRs or AR, VR, XR, whatever space?
HoloLens is what I've experienced of
So
Microsoft. Yeah,
HoloLens is a very popular thing. They have seen so much HoloLens in enterprise. They have done demos of a welder or a fitter who doesn't know something, repairing something, or hey, turn that switch. Someone sitting in the control room telling a new worker without training to turn that switch, and then the person
yeah,
is turning it.
yeah,
That he's just transmitting that video and then doing whatever stuff.
yeah. See, again, that is a complete AR device. So if you see, you have a transparent visor, and they just project the display on top of it,
Hmm.
and that also has a narrow field of vision.
Hmm.
So I think only like a square in front of you, you can see the visual. So if you see left, right, you will not be able to see
Yeah.
that peripheral vision, things like that, not there. But again, it's again a developer. It is not meant for a.
So HoloLens is not for consumer grade. It's not like Oculus Quest.
See, HoloLens. Obviously, everyone want to be end of the day consumer facing because that is going to be the biggest market. HoloLens right now, I assume it is again a developer version. They are trying if you are able to more create more diverse applications for HoloLens,
Hmm.
then they can roll out to the mass audience.
Okay. So
So
why haven't they married Xbox and HoloLens? Sony has PSVR. Why not Xbox HoloLens?
HoloLens again, it is not a VR device. It is a only AR device.
They had Xbox Kinect.
Xbox Kinect is again not a VR device. Kinect
Acha.
is only what to say. It is only the depth sensing we
It's like
spoke
they're
about.
playing golf and doing this and
It is
this.
depth sensing we talked
It's a
about.
motion tracking kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So it will read the depth.
Hmm.
Then according to that, it will know what you're making. It can understand gestures, things like that. That is the only thing Kinect is. It has nothing to do with VR.
Ah, okay. Nothing to do
Mm,
with VR. So
mm.
HoloLens is the only venture of them, and it
Yeah.
hasn't come into gaming at least. Tell us a
No,
bit about Sony's journey. If you
but,
have anything to speak about Microsoft, please.
but Microsoft, they have recently acquired Activision, one of the
Yeah, yeah,
biggest.
after Blizzard, yeah, definitely Call of Duty. Yeah, yeah.
So they are in the spree of acquiring Sony. So I assume it is all because they are trying to create an ultimate metaverse platform.
Oh,
So they are trying to access all this user base. See, because I told you, right, next the game is who's gonna come on top of a metaverse platform where everyone want to be a part of. So
understood.
that is the reason why I assume like Microsoft is going and trying to acquire all
Hmm.
these.
It's like the Facebook journey of Meta, Instagram, WhatsApp, and them
Yeah,
trying to consolidate their position so that people will have something to do, and they will come. They'll have a captured user base. They'll also have people of engaged audience. In
that's
creating engagement is difficult because people have inertia. I love playing a particular game, so I'll continue to play that particular game, and new version and new version. Starting a new game making me addicted is bit different.
mhm.
Pokemon Go, as I have been giving multiple examples, is one such random cases of people certainly getting addicted and having great push.
Yeah.
But Microsoft is going after the install base. So do conclude with Microsoft if you have any other points, and then let's move to Sony's
That's about
journey
it.
of PSVR. And
They haven't shared any other information out, but as of now, I know they have kind of haven't announced a successor for Hololens. They kind of stopped it with Hololens 2.
Hmm.
So I don't know. There's gonna be more things coming in that space from them.
So how did Sony start the VR journey? Did they start with VR cameras? Did they start with Sony PlayStation VR? What happened?
Sony PlayStation is the massive hit. Like it's the most popular gaming device. So because of that, naturally they were exploring the VR games. I think they have only released two versions of VR headsets so far.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I think the talks are happening probably like with some major game players in the Sony side to
Mm-hmm.
bring or like existing games trying to convert into a VR game as well.
Okay.
And another problem with VR game right now is you don't have haptic feedbacks.
Hmm.
So when you play a first person shooter game, you wear a VR headset, you move around using a joystick. Again, it will create motion sickness because your body is not feeling edgy, but your vision.
Uh,
To solve that, you need something called frictionless surface,
uh,
which Disney is working on. You would have seen. You can walk on it, but you'll get whatever you do, you'll be in the same position.
uh,
It is like a frictionless surface. Disney is working on a bit more advanced version where it is powered by multiple small rollers.
yeah, Disney will be so amazing. Disney and Pixar, we love their characters. It would be so good to be in a world where Mickey and Minnie and that great, I don't know what that castle is. That castle is there, and I think that's a big opportunity for Barbie and others to for people to go and see the entire Barbie world. I think it's a huge world that would be. People talk about AI being $1 trillion opportunity. That's a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity because
Yeah,
we love. So one thing about comedy is that when you talk about something, then you give a punchline, then you will
yeah,
call back.
yeah,
Okay, so this is a huge callback. Mickey Mouse
yeah,
is a huge callback because it
yeah,
brings nostalgia,
yeah,
it brings love, affection, good memories.
yeah,
Barbie is a huge callback. It
yeah,
will sell like crazy
yeah,
because you know what Shaktiman for Indian 90s kids is a huge callback.
yeah,
If you do it, it will
uh,
sell on itself. You don't have to do anything. Just make it nicer, no vomiting and stuff, nausea
yeah,
and stuff. Then it will sell on itself.
yeah,
Creating a creating a verse. I think they call Spider Verse into the Spider Verse Marvel. I think
yeah,
that's where Marvel and DC are slowly going.
yeah,
Once they get us hooked, then
yeah,
they'll say, "Oh, go in there." Now there's a Batman standing next to me. Hey, Naval, come on. Then I sit on a Batmobile and I go, "Oh
exactly. That
oh,
is what.
man, I'll pay dollars and dollars in a month for that, man." Of course, like a significant portion of people will pay $1 because see,
Yeah.
Spider-Man is next to you doing. And I'm hanging with him and
And that way you can experience all this from the comfort of your home.
yeah, yeah, man. I'm
Yeah.
going to have dreams if I hold Spider-Man and I'm swinging to the New York DC
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
If you can even give me a little bit of experience, I will just take it off. Oh my god! Thank God I'm in Mumbai. Oh,
Yeah.
let's go back. Even Jurassic Park, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Possibility is limitless. You can be in space, like, wherever you
Yeah,
imagine.
space. Being a Kalpana Chawla, being a
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong, being
Yeah.
on forget about space, just being on Mount Everest. Most of us can't even go to Mount Everest.
You can be on Mars as well. Right now, anyway, the Mars Curiosity rover has a VR camera.
Does it?
It has a
And you
360.
have kept it till now to tell it. Okay.
So you
So you
can
have a
even,
lot of things up your sleeves.
yeah.
So you will slowly take out things from your sleeve. Okay. Tell us about Mars camera and NASA and VR.
So I think their focus was not VR, but the focus was like a 360 cam. Wherever it goes, they should be able to control or navigate it, right? So because of that, so one advantage is because it's 360 footage. If
What is
you
the difference between 360 camera and a VR camera for a layman?
see, 360 is a format, um, and virtual reality. If you add depth also into it, you can call it virtual reality.
Acha.
Yeah.
So when I see a Google map, I see, say, you go to this place in Banegata Road. You see, say, Puma shop. Then there's a 360-degree view.
Yeah.
That means the Google car has gone through that place and recorded it in a 360-degree camera.
That's
Wherever
right.
Google car has gone, there used to be, I think, a GeoGuessr game as well. A GeoGuessr game is about people looking at 360-degree. Have you seen the GeoGuessr game?
No.
So GeoGuessr is a game where they show a 360-degree view and they give
Okay.
you like 4 kilometers to walk. Guess
Okay.
the country by
Okay.
looking at the signboard, and they hide those places. Look at the
Okay.
people, look at the type of houses. Guess which place this is.
Okay.
During COVID, this game became so popular. This and Among Us, both of that became so popular.
Mm-hmm.
GeoGuessr. So this is 360-degree for everyone. Sees 360-degree for a shop.
Mhm.
And then when I go and this shop has changed, they say, "Oh, that's an old 360-degree. Now there's a lot of huts have come around. The road has become narrow, or the road has been dug up. It's not
Yeah.
reliable. But it's an old content." So
Yeah.
VR is 360-degree with depth, with
Yeah.
spatial input. Just
That's
like
right.
you said, I can see behind the laptop. That's
That.
spatial.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about NASA. NASA has 360-degree camera. Why did
Ah,
NASA put the camera in that thing?
so that is
Tell us a
mainly
bit about VR in scientific research, if you know, or if you have worked. Are you working with IITs and IISc or ISRO and something?
no, nothing like that.
Acha, okay.
So that is what I think. It is all about applications, like diverse applications. We
Why
yet
are you
to
not working with ISRO? ISRO is sending Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan. Why are they not putting?
see. I'm sure they will be having 360 cameras on there. Any of the space mission which goes, they will have cameras all around.
Okay.
Yeah. So naturally, it will become a 360. It is not like so. You take all the feed from the cameras, put it together. It is a 360 image.
ISRO is sitting on a multi-million. Indian Railways trying to commercialize by selling good food and tickets and upholstery and stuff. ISRO is
Mhm.
a PSU. They started Antariksha and whatever. They're sitting on $1 billion opportunity by making an ISRO comics, ISRO series, and then giving those pictures to startup founders like you, and then helping you with some seed money, and then you can make something that can sell for ISRO. No,
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Like you can
why
even
NASA? ISRO can also do.
yeah.
ISRO,
I'm sure ISRO is doing. I'm saying any like even the
after
lunar.
they have done all the research and removed any confidential or secret
Yeah.
things that
So
they have discovered and patented and everything, they can give, because I'm sure a lot of space will be like secret,
yeah,
national secret and safety and stuff.
yeah. See, like I think even nowadays cars itself have 360 cam, so you can see what is happening all around your car. The same technology, like, just multiple camera feed. You just stitch it together. So even the lunar rover, whatever we have sent, I'm sure it has 360 cameras.
But
That
NASA hasn't launched any hackathon, any contest, or any funding for people to make stuff about it.
it's an existing technology, right? It is not going to be like a 360
For people to engage more there, apart from just visiting NASA's website. That's a good engagement. No?
haven't come across anything like that.
ठीक है.
But I'm sure they will have some sort of boot camps where you are able to experience how it feels to be on own, how it feels to be
Yeah,
on
maybe
board.
content creators are making something
Yeah,
behind the scenes. I
yeah,
remember in IBM something which is very simple that
yeah,
really blew my mind.
yeah,
And if I listen to it now, it seems very trivial.
yeah.
The CEO Virginia Rometty had told once that 80% of world's data is behind corporate firewalls,
Mm-hmm,
and then a lot of data is in dark web or places where Google's crawlers cannot crawl. So when
mm-hmm,
you search on Google, even if the results seem to overwhelm you, you are not even scratching the bare surface of the internet or the
mm-hmm.
or the recorded history, if I can say. A
Yeah,
lot of internet is behind Unilever's firewall, Big Basket's firewall.
yeah,
Uh, they're like petabytes and petabytes, zotabytes of data behind those things. So
absolutely. Yeah,
they may be making they would like thousand Abhilash Balans working. Those we don't know, those
yeah,
websites there aren't there. They are well paid. They are funded. They're making stuff which are there for research for so many applications.
mm-hmm,
So why I'm saying this because there could be young boys and girls who are looking at this and saying, hey, if you remember, again a callback. A
mm-hmm.
young boy, a young girl started something called Oculus in 2011,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Internet was a declassified technology by ARPANET. When ARPANET saw that hey, internet is harmless, now we can declassify it. Then
yeah,
it came, and then there are two dudes called Naval Singh and Abhilash Balan sitting and talking.
yeah.
That means their military would be having so many stuff that we
Absolutely.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. High-end war simulations, all those things are there. Like,
Yeah.
even
So
train.
NASA might be doing so much VR that we may never. What we are thinking that as kids we will look at Mars and we'll enjoy. We'll see what Kalpana Williams, what Kalpana Chawla saw, what Sunita Williams sees right now, and
Yeah,
we'll in it VR. We'll say okay, space, okay, okay. But
yeah,
that is like they might be doing. It's not what we cannot see. That means it's not there. It's there.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a very trivial thing, you know.
I know. Definitely.
But once you hear it, then you're like, oh, so this is not all of it. Ah. So tell us a bit. So you talked about the NASA road. So that data is available. That camera is
That camera data is a 360 image is available online. If you have a VR headset, you can just download and put it, and you can
a
see.
lot of fun stuff to do. So,
Yeah,
if someone wants to start consuming, for them the cheapest way is to get a 30,000 rupees Oculus or make a cardboard box and put a phone there.
cardboard is kind of completely stopped now. It is able to.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely not cardboard. I would recommend a standalone Oculus device to even start the experience.
And so now we'll go back to Life VR. So Life VR, um, your journey, how much towards consumer space? Because you talked a bit about real estate as well on your website. You talked a bit about tourism and
Yeah,
factory walkthrough. So
yeah,
it's a fair mix of B2C and B2B.
that's right.
Of course, in today's talk, I also asked if you work with IITs and ISCs and
Yeah,
ISRO is another. That's another completely research
yeah,
area as well, where
yeah,
there's a good amount of scope. I think molecule development, pharma industry can also benefit there, but from
yeah,
a very bare minimum thing that you have been able to do, rather
yeah,
than sitting and creating images in mind that hey, I can do this as well, or that as well. What you have
yeah.
actually done. Tell us a bit about your journey, both in B2C, B2B, and what does Life VR do?
Yeah. See, as a company, for us right now, we are hand holding the technology itself to create an ecosystem. So
Hmm.
our goal is the ultimate ecosystem. The hand-holding part, what I mentioned, is about how virtual reality can be used for hospitality,
Hmm.
how virtual reality can be used for real estate. So that is what we do. So that, like I said, we will do all this from our trial and error. So we will go understand what are their pain points. We don't want to use virtual reality just for a fad or a gimmick. It should actually have some sort of real purpose. So we tend to spend time with, say, for example, in the real estate, we'll go spend time with their marketing team, understanding their pain points, and how to use VR as a solution rather than a add-on or something. Uh, uh, we'll try it out. Not
Yeah,
that. That is the thing. That's the main goal.
it's not something that is good to have, but something must have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
So both the even the customers also should really appreciate VR made my purchasing experience or the filtering experience much more simpler and efficient. And even the marketing team, sales team should say it VR made my life much easier. So
Hmm.
that is important. For example, one particular client of ours is trying to sell properties in India and Dubai.
Hmm.
So we created the VR experience of the entire property. Then the sales team in Dubai will carry a VR headset. They will potentially they'll make them wear the VR headset and explore the property. So the client doesn't have to travel to India to different multiple locations from comfort of or from Dubai itself. They're able to explore different options. They not necessarily have to finalize it, but at least it is a very good filtration tool. They are like, okay, I can even consider this property, I can consider the city. Then they can probably visit and have a hands-on or a touch experience. So
Hmm.
similar to this, we identify pain points in different industries. And we try to see with the current technology and the current technological limitation, can we offer them a valuable solution which they're going to use on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Then we propose a concept, we will develop a POC, then we will do a full-fledged project. So once they also see the benefit, then they'll come back for more.
Hmm. So that's the real estate part.
Yeah.
What about that tourism part?
So we created a project for it, like partnered with another company, event management company, and we created a VR experience for Odisha government. So they have this thing called eco retreat. They say, for example, Konark Beach. People will not go to Konark Beach or spend time there because there is no good star hotels nearby and or like good infrastructure nearby. So what government has done, they have created a temporary settlements during the winter time, luxury tents. So encouraging people to come spend time at Konark. Similarly, they have created 7 exotic locations. So they asked us to capture the entire experience of these 7 locations. So when the Odisha government goes for shows like WTM, they carry a VR headset showcasing this is how our nature is and this is the temporary infrastructure we have built. So encouraging foreign investors, why don't you come take a look at our beautiful landscapes and we have created this sort of facilities for you to spend your time and experience.
Hmm.
So they are able to have a effective communication to potential investors or potential collaborators of different governments rather than showing a photo and video. This is like much more realistic experience.
Why haven't Kashmir, which gets like 50% of the revenue from tourism, done that?
Mm.
What
Yeah.
could be the barrier apart from
Uh,
administrative barrier?
One is awareness, I believe.
Uh,
Then I feel
but
that
have you been able to document? That's the reason. If
yeah,
sorry for interrupting you, because
yeah,
if you remember, I asked you, have you talked to say a videographer of a marriage function doing a kalyanam? You are a competitor to that person, but if you are friends with that person, then you can ask for feedback and then ask for feedback from that bride's mother and father as well about what benefit. You talked about what they see.
yeah,
That's one way of feedback on wedding. Have
yeah.
you documented feedback of the impact from Odisha government and not
We didn't get a
showcased?
chance to document it, but we have screenshots from their experience when they showcase the WTF. They have tweeted about this
Have you been
experience.
able to put a dollar value behind it? That this helped drive increase by reservation by 4% or 2% or
No,
20%?
that is not there yet. We
Acha.
need a more bigger sample for that. Plus, we need to create an application where it is able to derive that sort of analytics from it.
So you don't, okay. So yeah, because there is no, if
There's no met. Yeah,
why I'm saying this is because if I am IKEA, if I
yeah,
am, forget about IKEA, if I am Furlenco, right?
yeah, yeah,
And or I don't know which other whichever platform. So
yeah,
I may have IKEA, I may have Godrej, I may have whatever. But if I want to put your application in a consumer grade industry so that
yeah,
someone can come,
yeah,
or um, if I am a hostel website like a, I don't know, commonfloor.com,
yeah,
where a lot of every year in the month of July or June, a lot of college kids who come to Bengaluru, they come and look for PGs, and
Yeah.
I want to figure out a way where they can come and have a look. That may
Yeah.
not help. Because that's impacting someone's life immediately.
Yeah.
Because someone can open and come, and broker can show, and broker can do stuff, and then you have to travel, flight back. Because 90% of the, not 90%, whatever flats I have seen in my life, whatever flats I have lived in, they are made as per AutoCAD drawing. Or most of the flats are like X into 40, X into 20, one floor, X into 6, 6 into
Yeah.
floor. So just
Yeah.
get one flat and done everything. You
Yeah.
don't need to do everything. And even you don't, I don't know, you are a tech person, you know better. Can you convert it AutoCAD DWG into a VR? That would be thinking too much. You actually have to go to a room.
So for the real estate company I'm talking about, we did that. The flat
AutoCAD
is
DWG format, drawing format.
the flat is not constructed yet, but they have
Perfect.
to start planning, right? So we create the entire photorealistic experience from a 3D. So they have an actual understanding of a space even before something is being constructed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying this because if you are a Furlenco, then you can actually see the traffic to your page hitting that button and buying or trying a sofa. If you're an
Yeah.
IKEA, you can actually see that one gentleman called Mr. Abhilash Balan's done something. You can do the A/B testing that they do on marketing website, right? So you can see
Yeah.
before that, or you can have two versions. Click on see on VR and see how much traffic that drives, how much revenue it drives, how much traffic it comes. It knows then if there's no traffic, then you can say, hey, it doesn't work. Perfectly fine. Good feedback. The concept of failing fast, agile development, it's very true in software industry. Trying, failing, again, trying again.
Yeah.
The same way here in tourism as well.
Yeah.
Of course, they do it for corporate, for bigger people to come and invest. But a good proof of concept would be because India's tourism market is booming.
Yeah.
Even Maldives is now the president came and said, "Hey, we are friends again."
Yeah.
Because Indians are going everywhere. The Indian middle class is booming. The
Yeah.
travel is booming.
Yeah.
The airlines are completely packed. The hotels are packed
Yeah.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so the point is, if this doesn't have a good proof of concept,
Yeah.
just because you don't integrate with say Salesforce CRM or a I don't know, Microsoft Dynamics CRM where they can track the clicks. How does Google work? PageRank algorithm. I search for Abhilash Balan life here. It's give me some random Abhilash Balan
Yeah.
and say life VR hospitals private limited. It's a medical store, a medical hospital. I click on that. Hey, wrong. I went back. PageRank algorithm, low rank.
Yeah.
Again, say Abhilash Balan life here, a good one. I stay long. PageRank says relevant result, pull it up. That's
Yeah.
what it does. That's the
Yeah.
feedback. So if you
Yeah.
get that feedback from Odisha government or anyone
I get it.
by integrating with people like by integrating with places
That's
like Make My
one.
Trip.
Yeah. No. 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 So again, one answer for all those things is VR ecosystem. The content we created for them that can be only experienced through a VR headset.
Ah,
It cannot be experienced through anything else.
hmm.
Simple answer for all the
So
question is
adoption is a
yeah.
challenge.
So the headset
How many headsets are sold in India? How many active headsets are there in India?
Metaverse doesn't sell headsets in India. All the headsets procured is through gray channels.
So,
Metaverse doesn't sell headsets directly in India.
hmm. So that is the challenge.
Apple doesn't sell headsets anywhere other than
Only
America.
Oculus is the one which sells headsets.
Oculus also only selected countries as well.
But they
Because
sell in India. Oculus has stores
no,
in.
no,
You can't buy an Oculus on Amazon?
you can buy an, but it is not from Meta doesn't have.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of comments. It's very expensive. Buy from US, buy from Dubai.
It is all like generic product. People will uh,
So
buy
what
like
is Government of India's stand on VR? Has Government of India not recognized VR as a allowed technology or?
it's not that. It is just that the ecosystem, that. See, one thing is the price of the headset has to be very cheap if you want a mass adoption.
See, Xbox is 40,000, Oculus is 30,000, so it's not that expensive. PS is 40,000, 40,000.
But again, the experience you get on a Xbox, you cannot compare it to what you're going to
We play a lot football, FIFA and stuff.
get. Yeah. So that's the thing. So that breaking
The
that
time spent on Oculus is very less.
yeah. So that change has to come. It'll take time. That is what a lot of applications
Hmm.
we develop. A lot of real life users experience has to be brought in. So
Hmm.
it is a time consuming process. It is going to the
Hmm.
Hmm.
So what about the? So you talked about tourism, real estate. You also talked about wedding and couple of uh, uh, uh,
Yeah.
goof ups as well.
Yeah.
Factory walkthroughs. What
So
does
for
LifeVR
example,
do
recently
exactly?
we did a factory walkthrough for a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
They go for shows, different worldwide international shows. How will they show their facility? How will they encourage a buyer or or a formula um, company to come manufacture their facility?
Hmm.
And it's a clean space. They cannot take everyone inside. And VR is a perfect solution. We go through all the quarantine process. We will go inside. We shoot everything, create an experience. That is enough. Now, as many devices they buy, they can give like a recreate their factories, give people access to how a particular medicine is being manufactured.
Understood.
Yeah,
So that will build trust, kind of same as real estate as well. They will be
yeah.
able to build trust better when if you see
They
things.
tried with photos and videos, but VR interactive walkthrough gives more hands-on experience, and it is like there is no trick shot there. Like they see each and they see the floor. They can even see if any painting is missing anything.
Uh,
Ultra realism experience.
it's like making a yeah. It's better. It's kind of like making a video call, FaceTime, and asking, "Hey, can you point your camera iPhone there? Can you
Yeah,
point there?" So person will get annoyed after a few minutes, but here they can go into much detail
yeah,
and ask questions, and they can also maybe create another hypothetical scenario. That can we put one machinery there? Can you optimize the
yeah,
space? Can we use the space
yeah,
better? How they are using it? Is it safe enough?
yeah.
Actually, safety, health and safety, the Department of Company Factories can also see that there's a hazardous machinery there, so the people's walkway should be better and everything.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
Mm,
amazing.
mm.
So, w- so you mentioned that a lot of challenges, VR headsets, and lack of availability. Augmented reality has been there for so long. IKEA has been trying to put it on a phone to just to see their furnitures. I was trying to hint a bit by saying that maybe a Furlenco can do that, or maybe a VR doesn't come there. But what if VR kind of leans a bit on the shoulder of AR and makes an XR so that VR benefits because
Well,
AR is anyway there. So can XR come to VR's rescue?
absolutely. That is going to be the thing, right? You saw Meta Array. That
Yeah.
is an ultimate goal. It can be an AR device. On will it can become a VR device.
So then you would have proof of concept to take to other state governments that this there is a dollar value associated with creating VR of tents, and then so you helped create say 1 crore rupees extra. So then you should or 10 crore rupees. So you should be paid 1 crore rupees per month, whatever. You could be able to put monetary value behind whatever you're doing. Then you can
That can
scale your business.
absolutely see that can come only if you want that sort of stats can come only when hundreds and lakhs and lakhs of people are using VR headset in India
Hmm.
or abroad. Until unless they do that, we cannot derive that value from it.
So you want adoption to come. XR content can bridge that gap so that people can use the normal devices where they can see VR. Can XR bypass the lack of VR? Can XR content be seen on an iPhone? Just like we put like ruler on an iPhone and stuff.
You can even watch a VR on a phone, but that doesn't give you the experience. It is like a 360 video you watch on a phone.
Yeah.
The ultimate level of immersion, it moves according to head movement. It has to be seen on a VR headset.
But for your benefit, because you are putting in an effort with the Odisha government and someone else as well,
Yeah.
can you lean in to scale across to other tourism and
See, there are still possibility now. A lot of governments are
maybe
recognizing.
Marriott as well or Hilton as well, just to see how good their hotel rooms are
We
and
do
create content,
for Marriott.
captive content for them behind their firewall, not for public use, maybe.
So
Sorry,
we just created almost three Marriott properties. We created a VR
that's
experience.
amazing. See,
Yeah. So the sales team carry a VR headset to show when they go for a client meet. And see, that's the thing, right? They are able to convert high ticket size billing through that. When they go for a meeting, a CXO of a company, they're able to make the client get convinced there and there, rather
yeah.
than taking them to the property, like which the client may not turn up, things like that. So
Yeah.
it definitely it
Yeah,
has.
even the biggest, so the biggest business, you have been part of is marriage, is wedding, which starts somewhere around September, October, and everyone will even borrow money to spend here. Second biggest business is cricket, where
Mm-hmm.
cricket team will travel. They will buy the biggest suite of the hotel, the biggest room. The entire floor will be booked, of course, for preventing any corruption or anti
Yeah,
tampering. So they will block off the entire floor, but they want to see how the rooms would look like. The suite would like they book the biggest suite,
yeah,
and then so marriage, cricket, and then Bollywood, or
yeah,
Hollywood, or Tollywood, or any movie industry in India.
yeah.
So I didn't see any large triple R name here. So why are you not there in the movie industry? Why is movie industry lacking, Abhilash Balan?
Nothing
Why
is
do they
lacking.
not like you?
So to be honest, nothing is lacking. Like, again, movie. What is the point? If they have to sell, if they release a trailer, it all depends on the number of hits. How many people saw it? Because that is where the money
So
is.
Magadhira was a big hit. So why not Magadhira in VR?
Why
Magadhira is like 16-year-old movie.
why will you create a Magadhira in VR when there is no VR headsets? Who will?
Ah, so
They
we
cannot.
need an
They cannot
IMAX or a
make five.
PVR. We need a put a VR in PVR.
Again, why would you put a PVR in VVR?
Ah.
Like, think about it. It is a personal device. Why
You
would
take a
someone?
10,000 rupees deposit before you enter the cinema hall. You put just like you give a 3D camera, 3D glasses. You give them a VR headset. Put the VR headset before leaving. If you damage it, the deposit is kept. But you
Once
see,
you put a VR
Magadhira,
headset, it is
but
an
it will
isolation.
sit far, not close. Otherwise, your face will hit my face.
See, people have done this experience right in multiple European cities, but it never worked out. A
Why?
simple psychological factor that you go to theater for a collective experience.
Ah,
If you put the headset on, you are cut out from the real world.
ah.
Then why would you go to a cinema theater to sit with everyone and put the headset on, cut off from the outer world?
Then why not Wimbledon and US Open and others which are very expensive, or Olympics for that matter?
Everything comes down to the same thing: user base. If you don't have a wide, big user base, why
Why not
would
Formula One? Formula One is like so fast cars and like for bike racing and those stuff. Then of course there would be a lot of nausea if the bike
I
racing,
feel
the
that
body will be
actually,
racing with the bike. But they are rich people who watch those sports.
again, not just because rich, you need to have a numbers, right? This many devices has been sold. Without that, this sort of investment will not
So
happen.
that's the reason you have focused more towards Middle East and other countries. They have larger device base.
Nothing like that. No country has larger device base.
Hmm.
Right now, the main focus is events. Events has very good potential here because it's a direct line. They create a content, only they watch it. They just need one device. So that transaction is a much more easier transaction to happen.
So grandma will see, then they will say, okay, now the other one will pass out. And how, just from a simple curiosity, how do these devices, can these devices be customized if someone wears eyeglasses, or are these like powered
Uh,
eyeglasses? No, doesn't.
Difficult. Right now, there is no diopter to it, but eventually a diopter will come. So if you have power, you can adjust the lens accordingly. Right now, you'll have to fit your glass inside or wear contacts.
Acha.
Hmm.
So B2B, which segment, I know we are at the fag end, which segment do you see a larger growth coming, B2B or B2C?
Right now, I think it will be B2B, where they will not be able to target a larger audience, but for a focused sales, they will be able to use it.
Why did VR not get a big boost during COVID when everyone was locked down? That would have been a huge demand for VR.
Again,
Why did Zoom pick up and Abhilash Balan did not? Why did you not become a billionaire?
because you had 2 billion laptops or a mobile phone which can install.
Oh, every question has only one answer that Abhilash Balan has ratified. He's repeating the same answer. Eric Yuan became a billionaire post Zoom, post COVID because of that only.
If you had
Oh my God.
millions of headsets available, then we could have done it.
Why aren't people making cheaper headset?
It is difficult to pack a high resolution headset uh, and give us
If
lower.
there is, if someone wants to make an open source headset, how much will it cost for a decent spec headset?
It is not that simple, right? Like you have to invent a lot of things. It is not that it is open source. You have to invent same reason why Apple is adding one more chip just to read the sensory inputs. So it is not a common sense yet. Right now, if you ask someone to someone with the basic knowledge to create a mobile phone, it's easier because a lot of information are there available online. But right now, you have to invent so many things in tech for
Hmm.
a successful VR headset. So it is a process. It will take time. It is a due course and it is happening.
Hmm. That's the reason B2C will not pick up, B2B will.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's a matter of time.
Hmm. When I saw this news that doctors at Chennai Hospital use Apple Vision Pro for laparoscopic surgery, it shows the precision that had while doing surgery.
Again, the precision doesn't come with the Apple Vision Pro. The precision will come because of an other device which he is using with the robotic arm, things like that. Vision Pro
Ah.
is really a visual device he uses. There is
If
a
they use
camera.
a normal hand with that fit there, then it will not be the same thing.
Definitely not. So Vision Pro is used only as a visual input device. Instead of seeing that display of what's happening there on a monitor, he's watching it through a Vision Pro.
What's the benefit?
Just like a more emotion, right? He can move left, right, like understand the proportion. Like when you watch a display on
What?
a,
Why can't I bend over and see your intestine if I'm cutting your intestine properly? I can't bend over your body, na?
you cannot.
Okay, because the machine is fit on my stomach.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you tried in healthcare?
VR. So that is something we are doing right now. We are exploring the basis of how VR can benefit in the healthcare segment.
But
Nothing concrete. Experiments are happening.
because IBM worked with Manipal hospitals and they look pretty eager to use tech, so they kind of um, Apollo Pratap Reddy, I'm not so sure, but they because they will invent their own stuff. Manipal is usually very open
Mm-hmm.
to doing this stuff, and then now I see this gem hospitals as well.
Yeah.
So do you? So I would try to bring in a couple of people I know. I know a couple of people from Narayana Health. I
Mm-hmm.
know a couple of people at LV Prasad as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know. Tell me who could be the right people I could invite them over from these,
Stay
because these are very high tech. You can't have someone's eyes going wrong. They'll kill
Yeah.
me and
Yeah.
everyone. So,
Yeah.
so I want to I want to. So why I'm trying to help a novel. You are much greater than me. You have done great things in your life. I'm trying to go back in time in 2016 when there was a young guy called Naval. I'm still young, I hope, who's trying to tell, sir, Watson, sir,
Yeah.
what is AI? Chatbot? No.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see how I can help you, to be very honest with
Yeah.
you. So if I bring someone from Narayana Health or LD Prasad or Apollo or Manipal or whosoever. I want
Yeah.
them to feel comfortable. I want them to familiarize. I'm not trying to sell. I'm not saying, hey, I'm vouching, hey, Naval, Abhilash, take. No. I'm trying to say, let them ask tough questions to you
Yeah.
so that you sweat and you perspire
Yeah.
right now. And then you go back, you
Yeah.
figure out a solution, you again
Yeah.
come back, have a second meeting so that they will take time to warm up and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And even then, something may not happen.
Yeah.
It's not about giving false hopes and assurances to anyone. That's not the
Yeah.
intention.
Yeah.
The intention is creating a dialogue about
Yeah.
adopting new tech. Someone
Yeah.
has been working, someone who I know is working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and healthcare is highly trust driven. It's highly,
Mm-hmm.
highly trust driven because the brands can get ruined.
Yeah.
And nobody will say that some VR was used. Someone will say
Yeah.
my son lost life or my daughter lost her eye or my kidney was wrong or
Yeah.
that's all they will know. The brand will fall. I'll try
Yeah.
to see. Do you have couple of course, you can send it to me later as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to set up those conversations. I want to set up like couple of conversations first because conversations build trust. Something like this, very freewheeling conversation,
Okay.
and I want to see what I can do.
Okay.
I actually want to do something with ISRO. I want to see how do they want to incubate companies, not just you, open it up, make it a more level playing field. Tell me about mentorship. Do you mentor people as well? Do you does life we are? Oh no, you'll be terribly busy working, but do you take out time from your busy life to go back to your college or to go to a nearby institute and guide people? Are youngsters making a career in this field, or is it still
It's
because they see you struggling, they will feel
yeah.
demotivated, or it's only Melbourne people will do it? India is still way behind. How is India coming up?
See, I think it's still relatively a um, struggle to
Acha.
survive in India. Yeah,
Hmm.
not just in India, across the world.
Oh, so in Deakin University, do you get a chance to speak to your alums or seniors or batchmates?
Yeah, in
What
fact,
are they doing?
last week there was a meetup, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
so still it is very difficult to make a living in VR
Oh
because
man.
yeah, you still it will still take time. So if you see all the big companies, they will have VR as a department. VR doesn't run as an independent company. That time is yet to come.
And that's true across geographies, across countries.
To across geographies. Yes, that is why Meta has invested like almost $10 billion, like into VR, right? Just to bring that ecosystem, and it's a tough job. Like
Are
it
they
will
investing currently in India? Do you have I'll
no,
try to see who I can reach out to in Meta. But do you know if Meta is hosting like incubators or
yeah,
fundings?
there are a lot of Meta. I think in VR department heads are there in Bangalore, especially.
Acha.
Yeah, mm,
That's good because once the ecosystem flourishes, everyone will have sufficient to go around,
that's
sufficient
right.
content to go around.
Yeah,
That's very essential. Because why I was smiling was when you talked about $10 billion, because there was a one young guy called Sam Altman
yeah,
who Satya Nadella said, "Hey, take 10 million, 10
mhm,
million or 10 billion, go away, do something." Nobody knew what is OpenAI, what is this thing.
yeah,
And that time, IBM was trying to struggle to sell Watson. Watson's even still is struggling. But
yeah,
what revolutionized AI, and now they are saying AI is going to eat up the world, is
yeah,
ChatGPT.
yeah,
And then suddenly Satya Nadella is the most intelligent chap in the world,
yeah,
just because he made one. No, he made multiple right bets, but
yeah,
that one bet paid off.
yeah. Absolutely.
So there could be one OpenAI or one OpenVR or one LifeVR or one XVR or YVR or ZVR or something. It's just that create an enabling environment, creating an
Hmm.
ecosystem where there's a
Hmm.
good amount of investment coming in, good amount of consumption devices coming in, a lot
Yeah,
of maybe Kickstarter projects
yeah,
coming in. Maybe a lot of IITs have MTech students, PhD students, research
yeah,
students working so hard.
yeah,
IISc Bangalore, I know a couple of people who are working in vision space. So
yeah,
if they are filing patents, then patenting cheap tech. I know. I have great respect and honor for the amount of effort that scientists can put in. It's just polio needed a big superstar of Bollywood to come and say "do boon zindagi ki," and then people will take two drops. Polio took years to eradicate.
yeah,
Then even then people will not take polio vaccine. But
yeah,
when COVID happened,
yeah,
all the scientists of the world came together, and the COVID vaccine was adapted. People took 2.5 billion shots in couple of years. I'm not trying to praise any politician or any administration, but
mm,
that happened in a country
exactly,
like India, where
exactly.
2 billion drops were given, 2 billion injections were given,
Yeah,
right? It's the same country where a superstar, maybe like a Rajnikant or a Kamal Hassan or someone from the south, will come and say, "Hey, take 2 drops, please." And we're like, "Oh, okay, chalo, skip that."
yeah,
Why? It is possible. I'm
mhm,
always trying to intentionally end the episodes. We are at the very end. I have stretched you beyond your time, and I have enjoyed this episode. One of my favorite
yeah,
ones, to be honest, a heart to heart conversation. But
mhm,
I can see that happening. I can see that I have seen that change happening in Pokemon Go. I've seen that change happening with COVID vaccine. Is that these revolutionary changes aren't that far as
yeah,
people see when
definitely.
ecosystem comes together.
Hmm.
And any parting comments, any inputs, anything that you want to say? uh, before we try to start concluding the today's call?
It was a fantastic call. Good to speak about so many things. I'm sure. See, with VR, there is a lot of like a spectrum around it. Like that's it's a tail technology, and people don't understand really why it is hasn't penetrated to the world. It is meant to be. It's just that it's a one step at a time, and it's a work in progress.
Hmm.
And good, I was able to explain so many part in that regards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time. I must apologize for stretching this
No,
beyond,
that is absolutely
but
fine. It's much needed.
this has been one of the finest Sunday evenings ever of so much learning. Listeners, I will try to not cut a lot of parts of these conversations because this has been so amazing call. One of the best podcast episodes when it edits and comes out for you folks to listen. I hope even this part comes out. I would love your feedback, inputs, comments. If you feel that, hey, Naval, you should have talked about this topic, bring Abhilash back. So do mention that on the comments. If you feel that, hey, Naval, there are a couple of these videos, have a look, or hey, Abhilash, have a look here, or talk to me here. So feel free to leave these all the comments, reviews, comments, feedback on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Those who are listening to me, I must kind of request you that please click on a YouTube link, which is there in the in the show notes. That YouTube link will take you to a video where, because we have used a couple of video and visual aids during this episode. I know I haven't been completely loyal to my Spotify and Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud audience who only listen to me while driving, or maybe while washing dishes, or maybe as podcasts are called, nodcasts, when they listen to me going on and they go to sleep. But I know I haven't been loyal to you in this episode. I've used a couple of video contents. If you want to hit dislike button, I'll not mind you doing that. But the intention was to make it a very wholesome and a full content that can be consumed. We tried to de-jargonize content from a page of Apple Vision Pro, because this content you can Google up, but finding it all together with a human touch, that's what it has all this podcast has always been. There is Coursera, edX, MIT, Khan Academy, where you can go and read, but a teacher makes a difference. If you love the teacher, you hate the teacher, you mock the teacher, you make jokes about the teacher, you respect the teacher, but it's a human. That human touch makes you love that subject. So in the same way, you can read about these contents everywhere. I'm not a great podcaster. I don't speak like great orator like N. Ramachandran or something of that sort. I'm not great in English, and English is not my first language. But what the honest attempt was is to understand a bit about a topic. Two people talking about it passionately. One who has been in this industry for decades, has studied that in a college in Melbourne, came back to India, tried something, figured out something more, figured out some ways of not doing things, figured out some ways of helping governments, helping pharma companies, helping a retail company. So lot things. And then the other guy who has been part of technology, has been seen how technology can help humans. The other guy has uh, been helping make sense of tech in day job to businesses and as a passion project to developers, to students, to managers. And there have been feedback. Hey Naval, you explain so well. Why don't you come and tell about the same in our office tomorrow morning? I said, yeah, thank you so much. But this podcast was not an advertisement, but it was just like two people talking. That's the reason I was not interviewing Abhilash Balan. It's not an interview of Balan. It's a conversation. The name of the podcast is In Conversation With, where there are two people talking. And as I always wrap up, I talk about human nature. Human nature drives consumption, adoption, engagement, which is the lifeblood of any company. Could be a very large company like Microsoft or IBM or Google or whatever, or could be a very small startup. And that adoption comes from, why do you want to listen? If I show you an ad and I say, hey, this is Abhilash Balan, this is the company, buy it. You'll say, hey, selling ad, skip. But if there's two people talking, we want to eavesdrop. We want to listen. What do they talk? How do they talk? That's human nature. That's the reason we try to keep it very conversational so that you want to listen how Abhilash talks, how Naval talks. Why do they talk the way they talk? How does someone react at the wedding when the knot is being tied? What is the expression? That's human nature. That's how what we have seen when we talk to multiple CEOs in across the episodes for past 8 years, that we have seen that that's the success of any company. And then the money comes, the funding comes, the success comes, the customers comes, the ecosystem comes. But it's the human at the end of the chain who is actually impacted by that. And then they go and talk about that. So thank you so much, dear listeners and viewers as well, who have been part of this longish and learning journey. You would be watching this maybe some days later after it's recorded. This has been one of the most fun Sunday evening for me, most learning Sunday evening. We are very thankful to Abhilash Balan for taking time from his precious and busy corporate life and startup life and CEO life and the founder life. Um, Thank you, Abhilash.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of In Conversation with. I hope you liked the episode. Would you do us a favor? If you liked our episode, would you share this in your networks and amplify our podcast on your social media walls? Your likes, comments, feedback, reviews, and opinions really help us in crafting our future episodes and in making better content. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can show your support by subscribing to us and by leaving a review. Thank you so much and have a good day.